Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the one and only Rumboyz Fantasy Network here on YouTube, and we're also on our Twitch channel. Make sure that you guys like, comment, and subscribe, okay? And also share the content on all of your social media platforms, okay? So your Twitter, your Snapchat, your Facebook, your Instagram, your TikTok. I think I've listed your Stacks account. By the way, this show is brought to you by the Stacks app, stacksapp.io. You just Google it, stacksapp.io, or just look for the little flame logo right there in iOS or the App Store. Make content very seamlessly with some of your favorite content creators, all on the Stacks app. Also, new features coming here in about the next week or so. New groups feature. So be on the lookout to find out what groups is. Ladies and gentlemen, go ahead, download the Stacks app. Also, this show is brought to you by monkeyknifefight.com. That's right, monkeyknifefight.com. Utilize promo code Rumboyz whenever you download the Monkey Knife Fight app, available on iOS and Android. Utilize promo code Rumboyz on monkeyknifefight.com to get matched on your very first deposit all the way up to $100. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to match you on your very first deposit all the way up to $100. Get on over there for all of your daily fantasy player prop needs. Let's win that money. Alrighty, let's go ahead and get into it. First off, happy Friday. Happy Friday. What's the deal, Pickles? I hope everything is kosher. Let's get into this lineup, ladies and gentlemen. First up, you guys see him here each and every single Friday night. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up. It's your boy, Drop the Mic FF.
What's up, Robbie? Great Friday. Let's go.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, next up, it's your boy, Saint Pat.
I'm here. Hi, guys.
What's up?
What's up?
Dude?
Hi,
That
Pat.
hat, though.
Hi, Mike.
The Michigan hat. You would.
I missed you, Pat.
I miss being here
Ladies and gentlemen.
every time.
Ladies and gentlemen, next up, it's your boy, Pangs Picks.
What's up, guys? Finally back. Not as busy this week, which is good. Yay.
Yes. Hey, welcome back. We miss you. I miss you. So welcome back to the show, bro. Welcome back. And ladies and gentlemen, last but not least, give it up for Dave Gillespie.
What's going on, folks? How we doing, people?
We're good.
What's up, Dave?
Wow, we got everyone up here with under under 5 minutes. Like
there we
that's
go.
Like
quickest
first.
intro.
Yeah, quickest intro I've ever done. Craig, what's up? Lee Stephens, what's up, Treat? Craig said, hello, boys of rum. Dilly, dude. Dilly. I'm not drinking rum tonight because it fucking snowed and I was not going out in that today. So yes, it snowed in May. Weeds, what's up, Weeds? Alrighty, let's go ahead. Let's get into the show. Make sure that you guys share the content. Cheers to me. Cheers to you. All the rum boys and girls. What to do? Dilly. Shout out to my endless stock of fucking tall boys. All right. Let's go ahead. And this very first topic is quite interesting. All right. So this was the, how do I say, the statement that shook the football world over the course of this week. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
In a recent interview, Alabama head coach Nick Saban had some choice words surrounding name, image, and likeness, and coaches pretty much paying players to come to their school. We know that Jimbo Fisher and Primetime were specifically called out. Coach Prime had a response, and then I saw today that Fisher also had a response. How do you feel about the way that both coaches handle Saban's words? How do you feel about what Saban said? I know I feel pretty strongly from just the side of what I've seen, but I'll get into my take last. Mike,
Saban's got a
what's up,
point.
Justin?
I think it is. It's the product of the beast in the NIL deal. Overall,
Me too.
I
Craig.
don't. It's not just what am I trying to say? It's not just A&M. It's not just Jacksonville State. For instance, just look at USC. They just got freaking
Jordan Addison.
And I thought he was going to go to Texas. He ends up at USC. You're telling me that there's things like you're telling me they didn't pay him? Come on.
So,
yeah,
I don't think that it's necessarily maybe that a school is straight up paying a player, but it's like, okay, like if I'm going to get to, go and play in market X, I should probably go and do that. Like playing at USC, you're playing in LA, like you're playing in Cali, like, that's like.
But not just in the Addison part, but like, for instance, we all know that boosters are getting away with paying part of the NIL deals. That's what I mean by that part of the payment part.
But this has always been a thing.
Yeah, it's been a thing under
pissed off. Saban's pissed off. It's mighty ironic. You're pissed off at the same thing that you've always been accused of doing.
I completely agree with you there, Robbie. Now that
how do you think? Legal, why is it that all of a sudden, parents are moved into the this nicer area and they're all of a sudden given the a nicer job than what they would have had, and maybe the kid's not riding around in the car, but the parents certainly are.
Yes. The problem with it is you're going to have a bigger if this keeps happening, you're going to even have a bigger disparity from schools to school. Like, that's the issue that I have with it is you're going to have there's already this thing of SEC, you're just big, there's a gap. The gap's going to get bigger. The gap's going to get bigger, not smaller. And that's the issue that I have.
Okay, so for Saban to call out Jackson State.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, here's what it is. You're realistically more afraid of the playing field the playing field becoming leveled. That's what you're afraid of. You're afraid of not being able to have the powerhouse that Bama has always had. Like, straight up.
But that's because other schools are going to catch up. That's because it's prime, though. But that's because it's prime.
Hell no. You don't think that other HBCUs are going to do it, are going to have celebrities and rap stars? And, Chris Paul has been pushing the HBCU narrative for a long time. We talked about a topic similar to this, not long ago, or I believe last episode with the XFL thing. Like, it's maybe, because, a piece of it is prime. But this was going to eventually happen. Eventually, especially with the climate of things, the way that things have been. Players were eventually going to want to go to schools that support them. And
here's the thing. I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying about it leveling up to, say, like Alabama and Jackson, and Jackson State's going to move up the level. My issue with the whole thing isn't even Saban. It's the whole thing of like schools like Pitt or VT or UCLA or schools like that. They're going to go further away from the pack. That's my issue with this whole thing. I understand what you're saying, Robbie, about like Jacksonville State, and even I can't remember the school that he coaches at, but say the school that Eddie George coaches at.
Tennessee State. Yeah.
Tennessee State. Like those will start creeping up, and I get that, and I'm okay. There's no issue with that. My issue is with the schools that are mid-level, Big Five conferences not being able to keep up because of the NIL deals and money from other schools. That's
you're not mad at the mom and pop shop getting the deal to sell their product. You're mad at Walmart and Amazon for taking more things and making it all theirs.
Yep.
But see, I don't think that I feel like you're gonna see things spread out so much. What people don't realize is there's enough to realistically go around. And I think that what's happening with NIL, with name, image, and likeness, it's making it to where you are spreading apart the best of the best players, because now, yeah, there may be a little bit money involved, but now they're able to go where they want to go and where they're going to feel appreciated. They'll be able to now play where they want to play and it not, be so bad or so detrimental. Before, it was like you essentially had to go to Alabama. Like if you wanted an NFL scout to sniff you, you had to go to Alabama. You had to go to Oklahoma. You had to go to. Now it's not going to be like that.
No.
Now you can go to freaking Jackson State, East Tennessee. Like you could go to these other schools that maybe don't always get the best of the best players.
No, I agree with you there. But to me, like I brought up the Jordan Addison thing, that to me is a perfect sign of what's happening in even the Big Five conferences. I know you're bringing up the HBCUs, and I have no problem with them going there, Tennessee State, Jacksonville State, Grambling, wherever you want to go. If you want to go to Grambling or Jackson State, go ahead. I have no problem with that, and that's going to bring up the competition. Fine. I have no problem with that.
Yeah, I swear Quinn Ewers is the second highest graded QB of all time. Got a bag from Texas too. Arch Manning is catching the check soon. yeah, he's gonna be getting a check.
Yeah, he's gonna get some big time money.
Can I offer?
How do you feel, Pat? How do you feel?
I want to offer a slightly different perspective there. I think what's important that's been lost in the context of this conversation surrounding Saban's comments is where was he talking and who was he talking to? He wasn't talking to the national media. He was talking to the Alabama people, the Roll Tide community.
Mm-hmm.
As Mike said, it's about the donors. He's saying, look what they're doing. Put something in my hand. Let me do this. Let me get the guys. Let me get what you guys want. I don't want to get outbid. I don't want to get.
And that's what Jimbo's doing.
And that's what he feels Jimbo's doing. So yes, this has been going on under the table for decades.
This has been happening for years.
Yeah.
So it's not a matter of.
And Alabama's always been the best at doing it.
It's been legal and it's happening now. It's out in the open. And he's saying, now that it's out in the open, I need you guys. I need you guys to be forthcoming in what you're doing and fill my hand with money so I can pass it out. So while he took the shot at Jackson State and at A&M, I don't think it was directed as a dig. It was more of a, this is happening. I want these guys. Let's go get them.
So
you can take it as a dig.
Okay, that's so fine. I don't take it as much of a dig at Prime as I think Robbie does, but I definitely do take it as a dig at Jimbo because they've always had.
It's definitely a dig at both. It's a dig at both.
No, I agree that it's a dig at both. No, I agree that it's a dig at both, Robbie.
I just don't like that the playing field is being leveled.
Exactly.
I just don't think it's as big of a dig at Prime as Jimbo. That's all.
You don't like that the playing field is getting leveled. You know that you're about to get your shit kicked in by every other school out there. Here's the thing. Okay?
But are they going to get their shit kicked in? It's Alabama. Are they going to get their shit kicked in? I don't think so.
It's going to eventually start to happen.
And I don't know about shit kicked in, but they're not going to be. There's a risk they could not be relevant.
Exactly.
If they don't capitalize on the NIL situation.
At the end of the day, the NIL system isn't the be all end all for these top players.
No.
But here's the thing: the minute that here's the other thing: the minute that Alabama starts to go, dip down a little bit because of this, guess what? The first thing that's going to happen is Saban's going to freaking retire. And then it's not going to because he's not going to put up with it. He's going to retire as soon as they start going down. To me, that's what's going to boil down to.
Yeah,
I fully expect that. Yeah,
I completely 100% expect that. Or either he's going to go, or either he's going to go to another school.
Legacy intact, baby.
Yeah,
exactly.
Can't let anyone shit on it while it's hot.
But also, Alabama's got a history beyond Nick Saban too.
Yes,
it's gonna their program's gonna be fine at the end of the day. They'll still bring in top guys. It's still going to happen regardless. Their community is strong.
Yeah, the history alone will save it. Even
it's the same. It's the same way
NIL.
Michigan survived the 2000s and from about 2005 to about 2015, 18, and are making their return. Like it takes time.
I mean, I heard about like Jackson State, like, with the Jackson State situation, they said, yeah, there was no involvement of paying a player to come, when it came to Jarquez, or when it came to Hunter, excuse me.
Yeah, Travis Hunter.
Yeah, Travis Hunter, excuse me. Coming to Jackson State, like it was not involved in the situation of why he ended up coming.
This is true, Brian.
Historically, no, they weren't though. They had some down years, but historically
they're down years, but yeah.
But they're a very strong program.
Oh, you talking about Jackson State?
No,
Alabama.
Bama before Saban.
Oh, yeah, of course they were. Yeah,
but
Paul Bear Bryant, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
exactly. No, they've had proud history with football throughout the years. But I think honestly, like when it comes to this whole NIL thing, it's really interesting. Like, it'll probably be a lot easier to some degree because of the flexibility to be able to compensate players, after they're able to transfer to cover your tracks if you need to. I'm not saying that this is what Dion is doing and what Jimbo is doing necessarily. I don't know. Like, I'm obviously not in the locker room, but because now, or I'm not in the building. So because now that NIL is legalized, though, once the player commits to transferring, after that, anything becomes flexible.
Don't lie to us. You're in that building. That's what that green screen is. You're hiding from us, but you're in the building.
Honestly, with Saban, I'm not gonna. If it was true, I'm not defending his ass. He's on his fucking own. If he's out and they're proving him to be. Same thing with Jimbo Fisher too. I don't give a shit what happens to those guys. So if they're caught red-handed, like sucks to be them. So, but I like. The thing with NIL, like, is once they're able to transfer, after that, you're in the clear. Like, once you're able to secure the amount of money you've got at your disposal, like, it's a done deal. There's just nothing you can do at this point. So, like, it's all about, I think, honestly, that, if teams are doing this, like, they're probably going to be having, it's probably going to be a lot harder to determine whether or not it's illegally happening, meaning before these guys are transferring. But as for what Nick Saban's doing, honestly, I think it comes down to ego. Like, I wouldn't be shocked if that was the case, where this guy is he's getting nervous about, the college football landscape shifting away from him potentially. If he's not able to, compensate and accommodate players through these NIL deals compared to certain other programs are potentially. But honestly, like, I think you got to come out with some evidence. Like, it's all a wait and see process right now with this. Honestly, I can't really make too much of it just because it's still like all these allegations that are flying around. And even though this has been ongoing for months between Jimbo and Nick Saban in particular, it's still a wait and see process if this is indeed happening. But it certainly wouldn't shock me because, when we talk about what's been going on in college basketball, notably behind the scenes with under the table payments, college football, they just haven't revealed it yet. Like, that's plain simple. Like how prevalent it's really, coming to, how prevalent it really has become in recent years. So it's a wait and see process for me, honestly.
You see guys like Jamar Chase coming outside their house in like college. I heard you got a mansion. Yeah, we won the lotto. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, our whole team won lottos. That's why. That's how
our whole team.
I'm gonna move to Bama, to LSU and stuff. It's just so coincidental.
Yeah, it's like one day I was transferring to Bama, and then shit, I won the fucking lottery.
Bank error in my favor.
Yeah,
God.
Hell of a day.
I don't think that's how I feel like. Gosh, Payne, continue. How do you feel about this?
I mean, we all know what's happening. The only thing I'm actually triggered about regarding this whole shit is that it's been going on forever, and because it's has to be hidden, we never got to get more NCAA games. Like, that's the only I'm just glad we might get NCAA games back now. They're gonna be all open about it, so that's all I give a shit about.
It's also just kind of funny seeing like Saban doing this with Sanders and with Prime and with Fisher, because he's got a relationship with Sanders. They do the Aflac commercials together. They seem like they had respect each other, at least initially.
No,
and then all of a sudden this comes to light. And then Jimbo Fisher was his offensive coordinator at LSU for several years. prior to Saban leaving to Alabama. So it's like, holy shit, did the tables fucking turn all of a sudden,
No, I think that was some hate. I think that was some hate. That was some shade. You scared, say you scared. Nick Saban, I feel like you scared as shit right now. And honestly, it's kind of exciting to watch. I like seeing this side of Nick Saban. I like seeing scared Nick Saban. The fact that Jackson State is one of the programs that you're worried about. Like, dude, you don't even have to play them. Like, what are you talking about? Like, what are you worried about? What are you worried about?
For every player you lose, though, that sucks, right? That's like one less card in your deck. So I could see why I'd be triggered as fuck too if I could have got a star player.
Hey,
and they're going to these other ass schools.
It must suck for the world to start rebalancing and reshifting around you.
How would Urban Meyer react?
You triggered.
Oh, God damn!
But
I want to hear from that fuck Urban Meyer.
Urban Meyer. He's dancing in some fucking bar, bro.
He's on to his next infidelity scandal,
Right?
No,
he's
but
off the rules on another team.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think honestly though, like I don't know if there's some sort of illegality being committed for sure behind the scenes, like in regards to this recent NIL situation that we're seeing. But I do think that there are a lot of players who are probably aware of what's at their disposal if they transfer to a certain place because of the reputation of like someone like a Primetime, for instance, or when you go to USC and the history that they have there, being in Southern California, they're aware of that. So they know what opportunities will be at their disposal once they do transfer there. But nothing is concrete before that. They're not getting the offers so that that way they can keep themselves scot-free and maintain that clean image and maintain their eligibility. But once they sign that deal, like they know, like now I finally reached the promised land. Now I finally have I can make all the money I want compared to other college players out there.
Hell yeah. Let's see here. Let's move on to our next topic. This one pissed me off. Like, I'm just gonna be realistic with everyone. And this team has found a way to manage to piss me off within the last 2 weeks.
I know what it is.
So James Bradbury, fucking ass swipe, okay, will now be with the Philadelphia ass swipe Eagles as he signed a 1-year deal with the team today. Between Bradbury and AJ Brown, is this now making Philly the team to beat in the NFC East? Like, are we really what are we realistically worried about Philly right now? Go ahead, David.
Oh, I'm going first. Oh, my bad. No, yeah, and don't forget they also signed Hassan Reddick too at the same time. So you got a top-notch pass rusher. Not to put more gasoline on the fire, but yeah, the Eagles they're taking over this shit, man. It's their fucking division to lose. I think bare minimum, even if
it's their division to lose, they haven't even stepped on the fucking field yet.
I know, but I love the makeup of this roster. Their defense was already it's the real deal. Their O-line, the real deal. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I hate to break it to you, but the fucking Grim Reaper's coming for those Washington Commanders, man. I don't see how they're going to come away with this division this upcoming year because of the moves the Eagles are making. Honestly, and you landed James Bradbury, who's been an absolute underrated, top-notch cornerback in the game for the past few years.
AJ Terrell's way better.
AJ Terrell is phenomenal. I do love AJ Terrell.
AJ Terrell's nice.
But Bradbury, so man. Both guys are phenomenal, and I think that both have kind of gone under the radar because they've been playing for absolute downright shitty teams. But joining the Eagles right now with what they got with AJ Brown, it all comes down to, and as cliche as it is, we were talking about this on our show.
I hope the fucking Lions feast on your Bears.
Oh, fuck that. God damn. I mean, it's probably inevitable. I mean, my Bears don't know what the fuck they're doing to set up Justin Fields for success whatsoever. So
we already know that.
Yeah. I'm saying the obvious at this fucking point.
Continue.
No, but as cliche as it is to say, it comes down to Jalen Hurts and his development. Honestly, like they will go as far as he goes. Okay. If shit were to hit the fan and he's not able to develop, I still do think they could be a potentially 9 to 10 win team. But right now, they could reach a ceiling of realistically 13 to 14 wins. I could see it, honestly. And maybe even making some noise in the playoffs. I'm not saying they're going to win the NFC, but could they sneak into the NFC Conference Championship? Like, I hate to break it to you, but that could be damn near inevitable.
This team has won Super Bowl ever.
Yeah,
Stop. And that shit was
but this
fluke.
is a different year. This is a different roster, you know? Look at anywhere on that defense. Look at any level and say this team has an absolute glaring weakness defensively. You can't see it. On the O-line, you've got Jordan Mailata. You've got Jason Kelsey. You've got Lane Johnson. Like, it's stacked anywhere you see it, you know? It's just a matter of Jalen Hurts can progress as a deep ball thrower. I mean, he was middle of the pack at best last year. So I think it really comes down to him fine-tuning his decision-making, fine-tuning his deep ball throwing, because we already know he's an unbelievable runner. He almost ran for 800 yards last year. So that's ultimately what it comes down to. But getting a number one target like A.J. Brown, this dude's probably going to have like potentially all-pro caliber numbers this year if he can stay healthy.
Look, I will probably draft Jalen Hurts this year. It'll be a thing. It'll be a thing. Oh, by the way, congrats to everybody who got their SFB invites.
Yeah, congratulations. Absolutely.
Congratulations, people.
Oh yeah. Paying.
Are we in the same book? Are we in the same boat right now?
Oh, I haven't received my invite.
I haven't received mine either. And right now, I had like the realization, like I'm okay if I don't get in.
Yeah,
you'll get it. No, you'll get in. You'll get in.
He said today it's only at 45%.
Yeah, it's like
I didn't get mine last year till like
my settings
a week
were
or
set
two,
to live
or a
draft.
couple weeks before draft. The actual draft for Scott Bishop. Like you got probably get a lot of people get towards the end. I'm actually surprised I got mine so early. I didn't not get that shit till like basically right before draft.
I was second batch last year.
I'm just sitting here like, what the fuck, Scott? Where the fuck is mine? I don't know the guy, so.
Clip that. 28-40.
Fucking Scott, man. No.
You fucking did. No, I'm kidding. No.
Clip that one.
He's uninvited you next year. He's gonna be like 13. Nah.
It'd be funny if, like, after the show, I just say, "Oh, I got a message." Oh shit! It's him.
Yeah, that's that. I mean, that may happen. Also, check your spam folder too. Also, make sure you check your you always check your spam folder.
That's where mine was.
Yeah. After a couple of years of being in SFB, my Gmail account is finally like, oh, we know now. Go ahead, Payne. Your take on the Eagles team. Eagles team.
We talked about this on David's show last time. It's as good as Jalen Hurts, right? Mm-hmm. Jalen Hurts isn't a game manager. Jalen Hurts, his anticipation is probably one of the worst I've ever seen as a QB, at least in like out of the starters, right? What's going on?
It was in my spam folder.
Oh, it's holy shit!
I told you.
He just got in.
I told you.
I don't care about. I'm okay if I miss it. Patrick.
I'm just sitting here as the fucking one-man wolf pack now, I guess.
Don't worry, it'll happen. Trust me. Go.
100%. You'd be surprised.
Sorry,
guys that were been in this for minutes and for like a while now barely got in at the end.
Fucking
still a lot of work for you in there.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Yeah. No worries.
But yeah, anyways, it's what David said, right? Jalen Hurts is going to be the reason this team fails, and if it succeeds, it'll also be on his back. He's not a game manager. His anticipation's terrible. You know, he reminds me of a Madden player. Like, it's like once the guy gets so clearly open and in position, he then throws the ball, and then you're hoping that it's just like that's what it feels like when I watch him. I'm like, he's not throwing on breaks. So we'll see. I think he'll get better, right? I always preach that quarterbacks will get better in the first 6-7 years, but I don't know if people get 6-7 years anymore. So who fucking knows anymore? So that's how I feel about it. I don't think they're the team to beat, though. It's probably. I think you guys need to like give Carson Wentz a little bit of respect. He's not bad. He's probably the second best QB in this division. Huh?
Hey, I won't say second best, but Yeah,
probably
he's the second best. He's the second guy because
right.
it'd
He's
be
behind
Dak, it'd be
Dak,
Carson.
right? At least, but like,
Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm not a big fan of Dak myself. But Dak was coming off injury, so I'll just give it to him. But it's like, it's so that's not terrible, and usually that's enough. And short of last season's weirdness with losing to the Jaguars, which you can blame Wentz all you want, but 50 of the two fucking players on that roster failed them too. You lose to Jacksonville, that's on you. They could have made the playoffs, and I think that's really what it comes down to. It's Wentz does scare me enough. I think he's actually still talented. I've always been a Wentz fan, and Dak is pretty good. I think Daniel Jones will take a step up now that he doesn't have to run for his life. Jalen Hurts is probably still the worst quarterback in this division. Not fantasy-wise, for sure. Fantasy-wise, he's probably number one. But in real life, he's still probably in the bottom.
Jones, though, Jones is such a deer in headlights, It's just.
I mean, I would be too if I was on the fucking Giants, though. Like, what do you do? Like, you can't grow when your fucking team is ass.
Well, and they were plagued with injuries later. We talked about this, too, on the previous show.
They're plagued with ass. Like, I'm pretty sure when you go to the stadium, it just smells like shit because they fucking all suck. Like, everything about that organization is just so fucking terrible.
The fucking Giants are dumpster fires. Like,
I think if Daniel Jones was, like, on a real team, I think in a real coaching staff, he would have a fucking chance. Let's say he gets another shot in 3 years as the next Tannehill. He might be the guy. But it's just that bad.
Just a septic tank explosion over at MetLife right now.
Just everything at New York is terrible right now. Look at Zach Wilson and Sam Darnold; those guys, they're not having a good time.
Well, they could. The Jets could be this year. They're another team that could potentially be set up for success.
It looks cute, but we'll see. They'll find a way to fuck it up, but it looks better. Maybe they learned after having 10 years of worse mediocrity than at least about the Dolphins tier. I mean, short of the Mark Sanchez era, it's been pretty bad. So
that's
how I feel. So Jalen Hurts is probably at the bottom of these guys, and that's it. But
we've seen this before in multiple other sports where teams will build up super teams, and like it takes them a minute.
It works for game managers. I don't know if it works for Jalen Hurts though. Like game managers like Peyton at his last year because he had so much knowledge of the sport that he could get by being on an awesome defense. But do you trust Jalen Hurts to like not throw the game away?
I don't know. I trust him more than Peyton. That finally, Peyton was awful. He had 9 touchdowns to 17 interceptions. It was horrible. That final season.
That was awful.
Couldn't move laterally without tripping over his own feet.
Yeah, it was pretty awful. I mean, like the thing with Hurts, I will say this is one promising note with Hurts. He cut his bad throw percentage in half from his first year to his second year, and doubled his good throw percentage, his on target throws, from his rookie to sophomore year. So the signs are pointing to improvement.
He's most likely going to improve. I really think he will. But I think if you're just talking about right now, he is the weak link on this team because even guys with great defenses throw it away. Like look at the Broncos last year. It was a stout team. I mean, the coaching sucked ass, but Teddy Bridgewater threw that game away every single week.
We've like I said, we've seen this in other sports where it's like, hell, my fucking Lakers this year, we were supposed to be a super team, and it just didn't. We had freaking LeBron, AD, Russell Westbrook, like players that, individually were usually world beaters, and we couldn't put things together. Like we've seen this in time and time again with sports. We've seen this time and time again with teams. Hell, the Patriots had it all put together the year they had Randy Moss and still couldn't fucking get the ring.
I mean, the Suns.
And you had the greatest. You had the greatest fucking receiver of all time. You still
over Jerry. Jerry's better than Randy now.
David, I'm telling you right now, this is not the time. We don't have time for you to argue with Robbie about this right now. We don't have the time. I know where this is going.
Receivers and one of the best QBs.
If it came down to it, if I'm a GM, size, body build, everything, give me Randy.
I'm a little biased.
Well, he's more athletic, but like I'm talking about reliability, and consistency and.
I don't care.
I mean, what are you doing?
I have an autographed Jerry Rice. I have an autographed Jerry Rice jersey.
I'm like, it's irrelevant. I don't care.
I don't really fucking care about arguing between number 1 and 2. I mean, that's just like picking nose hairs at that point.
That's
Randy
true.
Moss is my
It's argued
favorite
for the sake of
receiver ever of all
Who's
time.
fucking taller, Shaq or David?
Yeah.
It just sounds like a dumb fucking fight. Doesn't make any sense.
Yo, those dumbasses are like Draymond Green would beat Shaq. No, the fuck he would not.
No, the
way.
funny one right now
Draymond
is
Green would get down on
is
his knees and suck his dick.
Exactly. Yo, like that is the
Yo,
greatest center
Shaq
of all
comes over,
time.
I'll
Like,
consider it. I'll be like, Shaq, what's up, dog?
wow.
I cannot stand Draymond Green. God damn,
Cannot
that
fucking
dude's
stand
fucking.
Draymond Green,
Oh
bro.
my god.
Yeah,
He's a
that was a
fucking
real
head
that was a
case.
real conversation. People were really like, Draymond Green could beat Shaq. Shut the fuck up.
Get out. No.
well, the new one is that Rudy Gobert would dominate Shaq in the paint. I'm all bullshit.
No.
Dudes would get
Yeah.
injured trying to deal with
Dude.
50-year-old Shaq, let alone fucking young Shaq.
Shaq just used to move people like, dude,
They were
one
like-
of these down low, and you're just like,
He literally bumped
There's
into
a
his hip and
handful
knocked
of
him
centers
off
that
the
I
block.
think could deal with Shaq, and I don't think they even beat Shaq, right? Like it's like Yao, David Robinson,
Yep, David
or, like,
Robinson,
and maybe, like,
Hakeem,
Rodgers.
Yeah.
But they're not
Hakeem
beating them every
Olajuwon.
week. And those guys are all Hall of Famers.
yeah.
and
What the
Yeah.
fuck? All right,
there's still
Pat,
tiers below Shaq as a all around fucking player. You know,
Mhm.
people.
Can I, talk,
Hey,
can I just talk
people
basketball
are-
and talk
are-
Shaq for a little bit? And
He's awesome,
I'll
man.
I'll
He's
gush about
spectacular.
Shaq for hours.
I wish
Lakers Shaq is just so fucking.
I wish when I
special.
got into the
Yeah.
NBA, it wasn't when my Pistons beat the Lakers in the finals.
Mhm.
Because I grew up not liking Shaq because he was the enemy.
Can I
It
remove him?
wasn't until I got into high school when I was like, Shaq is amazing, and I wish I could have enjoyed him more.
oh my gosh,
And that taught me to be more respectful of players as they're going through their prime.
You
and
had
that's-
to bring up that loss. Dude, the
Yeah.
fact that we lost to
Come
Detroit.
on.
The last
We
NBA
lost to
championship,
Detroit.
the last
Yeah.
NBA championship team did not have a superstar on it.
Yeah, basically. I mean, Rip
Yeah.
Hamilton was fired. Chauncey was fired. That was a good team.
Ben
And remember,
Wallace-
they got
Ben
swept
Wallace
too.
for
It was the
Shewell.
last. It was the last
gentleman's
team.
sweep. Gentleman's
It was the
sweep
last
finals.
team.
Oh,
no,
I'm
but
sorry.
it
Yeah,
was,
that's right. Yeah.
it was the last team to officially not have a Hall of Famer on the team.
Well,
Yeah.
Ben Wallace is a Hall of Famer.
Now,
Ben
yeah,
Wallace,
yeah, now,
Ben
yeah.
Wallace now.
Um,
Pat, how do you feel about this year's Eagles team? Let's get back on topic. Sorry.
One last thing about Shaq. Shaq is so fucking special that when they had the NBA 2K limited edition with Shaq on the cover, I bought that one. Like I bought the most expensive one just to have the fucking cover. It's fucking it's him the dunk. I'm just
I
like,
did the same thing with Kobe's cover before he
Did you hear
that was
that?
before he even passed. Well, yeah, I get it.
Matthew Berry doing fantasy stuff was working at a toy store in Orlando. Was in there when Shaq was living in Orlando. Came in with this fancy credit card. His coworker
Oh yeah.
tried to ID him, and he's like, "I'm Shaq," and then she's like,
He's the
"I don't know who that is."
what?
Yeah.
Even
And then
non-NBA
you're like,
fans, everyone knows
It's
who it is.
Shaquille O'Neal.
And in
That
Orlando.
motherfucker didn't live
In
under
Orlando.
a rock. He lived under like 5 boulders under the sea.
Yeah.
Oh my
So-
god.
Anyway, Eagles.
I would
9
even
and 8
argue at this point
9 and 8
Shaq is a
last
little bit more
year.
famous than Jordan because he's still in the sports industry doing shows
He's the funniest athlete I think we've ever seen.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, back to the
without
Eagles.
any negatives to his names. Like people have negatives about Michael Jordan being a dick. So like,
Yeah.
so it's
Oh,
just
back
all
to
that.
back on topic. Back on topic though.
He's
Sorry,
Shaq
sorry.
and Wallace.
Can't bring him up and not have his gush, dude. I can't fucking can't do it.
So Eagles 9-8 last year with $40 million in dead cap from the Carson Wentz deal. What happens? They end up getting 2 firsts out of the deal. They're in the best spot of any team rebuilding. Like they're doing the right things. They did what the Dolphins were supposed to, what they thought the Dolphins were going to do
Do what?
in terms of rebuilding when they started stockpiling draft picks and getting all these great deals.
Mhm.
And the Eagles now have a chance to say, this is how you can rebuild. This is how you can make up for having a bad contract.
That funny enough, the Dolphins always trade with the Eagles. I'm not sure if you ever noticed that. They always trade with each other.
Yeah,
So
there's
it's
a lot of good deals there.
yeah, they've always done
So-
that.
Yeah.
They finished above 500 last year in a prove-it year for Jalen Hurts, just as he's just given the reins to run and play and throw the football around. $40 million in dead cap, and now he's got AJ Brown. They had multiple first-round picks. there's no reason for me that they can't win 11 or 12 games. NFC East is going to be a race to 12 games. Who's going to win 12 games? And I think that they can beat the Cowboys there.
Question for you.
At the end of the
sweep, sweep the entire division.
No.
5-1.
I think they go 3 out of 3 or 4 out of 2. 4 out of 6.
I can see 5-1. But the big question mark I think that they're going to run into is, while they're good in the regular season, their offense does some good stuff. They're going to run into the Lamar situation in the playoffs, where teams are going to focus in on the run, focus in on what they're doing really well, and Jalen Hurts won't be adaptable enough in the postseason to make it happen to win when it matters.
Aha! See that, David? Somebody else talking about Jordan Davis too, son of a bitch.
Do you think a rotational D tackle though is going to be?
I say if you had to pick one, I would say I would like to see it.
I mean, it's possible. He's a freakish athlete, you know.
How old is Fletcher Cox right now?
He's getting up there in age, but I think
up there.
He's about 32. I want to say
on that back burner.
I think he could we could see 1 to 2 more prime years out of him, but
I also just think DTs can put up less stats. If it's a very meh year, I can see a DT getting through. Now, obviously, I don't think he's that special by any means, but it's more like, it'd be kind of cool to have a DT win a defensive rookie of the year. It's always fun.
I mean, you could be on to something, because Cox did have a season low in sacks. I think almost a career low in sacks, in fact, with 3.5 last year for one thing. So
you would know this, Robbie, if you didn't abandon David.
What?
Shame on you. Unforgivable, Robbie. Unfucking forgivable.
Yo, you're an asshole.
You had a perfectly fine excuse. You're all good, man. No worries.
Mike, your take.
So I agree with the notion about it's on Jalen Hurts, but to me, the wild card in this situation is Nick Sirianni can still screw this thing up.
Exactly.
Do I think they're going to win the division? Yes. Do I think it's a race to 12 games in that division? No. I think it's a race to 10, 11 at max. And I still think they're going to pull it off. I think it's going to be they could pull it off. But to me, the wild card is Sirianni, because Sirianni, I still don't trust him as a head coach. I mean, not saying he's as bad but he hasn't done anything to me yet to prove that he's even any better than freaking Matt Nagy. Sorry.
That is very.
Coach of the year, Matt Nagy.
Come on now. He robbed.
I always forget that's a thing.
Oh God.
Oh my God, that's fucking.
They should just give it to Sean McVay again that year. Like Nagy, it was an absolute gimmick of gimmicks in 2018. You know.
Look, I'll say this. It feels like this year, aside the Giants aside, it feels like this year, 3 of the teams in that division are a lot closer to each other than what they maybe were the last 2 years ish. Mainly last year, I'll say. Last year going into the season, I felt like it was Dallas that was pretty much like the clear. The clear cut, better team in the division. I mean, and honestly, the year previous, before Dak's injury, it was pretty clear cut. With the loss of Amari Cooper, I think that balances Dallas out to where it's like they could either be 1 or they could be 2, or because of that they could very well either be 2 or 3, Washington could end up being 2 or 3. I don't think that Washington ends up being 1, but I think Washington ends up being 2 or 3. Philly has a lot of new pieces that you have to put together, and you have to make sure that all these new pieces have chemistry. And to Mike's point, and exactly, and to Mike's point, Sirianni hasn't done anything to show us that he's this amazing world-class genius of a fucking coach. So when you kind of really, really think about it, it's like okay, like any one of these teams could could be the 1 seed out of the East. I think that with the pieces that the Eagles have, I think that with the pieces that the Eagles have, they could be 1. But like I said, we've seen before where it's like a team will have all the pieces put together and they can't get along.
Robbie, are you getting some dream team vibes circa 2011?
I was thinking
Eagles?
about that dream team shit.
Bro, that shit sucked.
That was so bad. Oh, that
was
would laugh my fucking
bad.
ass off
Vince
if
Young,
that
the
repeated
backup.
itself. Oh shit! But do you agree with this though? Isn't AJ Brown, if he's healthy, with how filthy he is as a wide receiver when he's healthy, because we all have to acknowledge the guy. I mean, okay, he's got some issues with drops, but he's a filthy wide receiver. Is he not schematically flexible to fit into virtually almost any offense, especially even the Eagles?
I think that he can fit.
But that's the problem. He's not the issue. The issue is the quarterback and the other stuff. He's not the issue.
Quarterback, the coach. We also have to remember he can't get every single target for fucking 4 quarters.
Mm-hmm.
When have you
Devontae
ever
Smith
seen
is still there?
Well, what about Smith and Goddard though?
Yeah, like
Devontae Smith.
Goddard's probably the more reliable.
They led the league in rushing last year.
Mm-hmm.
That's my other point.
They had a top wide receiver that opens up the game.
What's up, Peter? What's good, bro?
3 back-to-back championships.
Let's go.
It's crazy.
By the way, shout out to Jorge for loving on Jerry Rice, who's the greatest route runner of all time. And no doubt about it. Don't at me.
Oh my god.
Just one random thing though on the Eagles. Is there? This is what I was thinking about earlier. That separates them from the Cowboys. Well, that separates the Cowboys from them. Mm-hmm. Do they have any elite talent on the team? Obviously, outside of AJ Brown now. But
outside of AJ Brown, no, there is not an elite talent on that team.
Is anyone on that team better than Micah Parsons?
Okay.
I don't think that they have anyone that can go
he's a top-notch corner.
Heads up with Parsons.
I
mean, but offensively, I see where Peng is going. Offensively, who's going to match up with the corners and the secondary that Washington is going to be rolling out this year? Who's going to be matching up with?
For the Cowboys was really fucking. I mean, okay, let's just caution out Trayvon Diggs' dumbass shit, but that defense was pretty fucking good. If that could have got it together, because obviously he was coming off his bad year, they would have been really fucking scary. So let's say
the concern with Philly.
It's kind of crazy to think about. I'm not exiting the Cowboys out because I can't think of elite players on the Eagles. They have a good roster, but elite players change games. Aaron Donald.
I like what J Love said. The concern with Philly is there are 3 areas of concern: is possibility of 3 most important parts of football: coaching, QB play, and the pass rush. Reddick isn't the resolution to their problems, and then he then drops also Lane Johnson.
I don't know.
Lane Johnson,
pretty good though.
Jason Kelce as a center. I know he's only a center.
Oh my
as
gosh.
a receiver, but
I would agree with you if he wasn't about to retire in a year.
Yeah, they're all pretty old now.
He's still good.
No, he's still good.
That roster has some age on it as well. We also have to account for the fact that we can't account for it right now because it's way too early. Injuries do take place, So how does this team react depth wise? If one piece of it goes down, so on and so forth.
Holy fuck, that fucking team is
old. So there's a lot of ins and outs in it, and every NFC East team has as good as as much good attributes. They have some bad ones too.
Brandon Graham's young. 34 is totally young, my guy.
I really think that right now you're looking at realistically speaking, you're looking at like a 3-way kind of death race. But if I had to go on record and pick one right now, I think that the Eagles can. Since 2010, you haven't had a single team repeat this division as a division winner. I think that the Eagles will win it this year.
Yeah, it's a tough break. And Washington could sneak up in there. It's just a matter of Carson Wentz just can't shit the bed at the tail end of the season like he did last year against the Colts.
Carson has to stay healthy.
The Colts shot the bed themselves. To be honest.
That was the Colts. That was a team effort.
I thought a lot of it was on Carson, in my opinion. But
that was a team effort.
people like to jerk off Michael Pittman right now. I'll tell you right now, as someone that was on his nuts last year, I thought he was great for a value. He's not a fucking 3rd round draft pick. And
Michael Pittman had way too many drops. Or not drops, but it's a clutch moment. It's when he drops it.
Yeah.
It's a clutch. When the game is on the line, he does not have a clutch bone in his body. When the game is on the line, 4th quarter, I'm not throwing the ball to fucking Michael Pittman.
I like his potential, but he does have a lot of growing pains.
What, Mike? When's the last time Michael Pittman called a game winner? When's the last time Michael Pittman called a game winner?
No, I'm not disagreeing with you.
Okay.
I'm not disagreeing with you, but it also doesn't help that his quarterback underthrew him 100 times because he can't throw a deep ball.
That's all. Wentz is that bad.
I don't think Wentz's deep ball is that bad. Pretty much all of Michael Pittman.
You're gonna hate Matt Ryan right now.
Yeah, a lot of Michael Pittman's catches were like in stride, deep. Wentz is really good at catching you in stride, and that's what I like about Wentz is that he'll catch you deep in stride.
If you guys look at Pittman's routes ran on what week NFL week next gen stats, you'll laugh because you'll be like, what the fuck are these routes? Like it's all like on one side. He doesn't really go over the middle well. He's not well contested. He doesn't
Waddle
get
or Eckler in a 12-team PPR 1 QB dynasty league.
Will extend plays.
Jonathan, what do you need? If you need
no separation from fucking Pittman.
If you need a receiver, then you need to stay put with Waddle and don't get rid of Waddle. But if you need a running back, then make the trade.
Or is this a startup and he's figuring out who to draft?
Yeah.
If that's the case.
This looks like a trade to me. This looks like a trade to me. I
think he's trying to do a ranking. Where would you rank them? I would rank Eckler higher than Waddle.
I would rank Eckler higher than Waddle, yes.
And next year, probably.
Yeah.
I think that's a trade question. I told you it's a trade question. Damn, I'm fucking good. God damn.
Yeah, good call. So I figured.
Shit, no, bro. If you're in desperate need of a running back, like if you need a running back, then go ahead and run with Eckler. Peter says I can see the Eagles taking the NFC East, but would love to see the Washington Commanders football team thingies come up as a surprise. It's tired of seeing Cowboys shit the bed. Yeah, exactly.
Let's be real. The Cowboys should not have lost to the Niners.
I got Javonte, Etienne, Dylan, Sanders, and Rojo as running backs. Rojo's fucking lazy. We're going to talk about that a little bit later.
We talked the bad coaching from the Eagles.
What receivers do you have, Jonathan? Wide receivers are Pittman. You're not. Nope. Keep Waddle. God, please keep Waddle. As soon as I saw Pittman, Mooney has fucking Justin Fields throwing to him. You got lots more with the Jets.
But he has also Tyreek. He can't stack the two.
He also, he has Tyreek and Deontay and more.
He needs the running back. He hella needs the running back. Because he has Deontay and shit. They're good.
The solid running back too.
Yeah, but fucking, are we trusting Pittman? And Mooney is probably the best receiver that he has out of that core.
He's got Tyreek.
He's got Reek and Deontay.
Oh, okay. I didn't see
Deontay
Reek.
Johnson, I did not see Reek. Pittman is fine. Pittman is great as a 3.
No, because you have Reek. Hold on, because you have Reek. Yeah, because you have Reek. I did not see that he typed Reek. I saw Pittman first.
Reek and Pittman are gonna be so.
This take is so hot. We set off a alarm.
Pittman's fine. It's just not a 1.
Yeah, go ahead and take Eckler. No, you need Eckler. You need Eckler. You already have Tyreek Hill. There's no need to have Reek and Waddle. You don't need that. That'd be ass. So you don't want to deal with that on a bye week. Fuck that noise.
You can get that. Yeah.
No,
you're really gonna cap yourself in those.
Yeah. Don't shoot yourself in the kneecap before the season starts.
60 on 2 different teams, and you're not gonna get that with those 2 guys.
Bro, I did not see him put Reek right there at the beginning. My eyes just skipped that. That's my bad.
Yeah, he had Reek and Deontay. That's some good shit.
It's because you were just talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we were just talking about Pittman. As soon as I saw Pittman, I was like, fuck! Ah!
Pittman's fine, but Pittman's what I would consider a bottom end 2, mid 2.
Yeah, he's a bottom.
Upside 3, right? But that's it, dude. That guy just has no separation capabilities.
Mm-hmm.
Let's.
He's a possession guy for sure.
Yeah, or contested.
Yeah, exactly. Jump ball.
Here, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna keep it. We're gonna keep it on fantasy. Before we get into halftime.
You're my
so
fantasy.
Dang.
Yeah, I was about to say, as a Mariah Carey reference right there. Sick bastard.
So yeah, I'm gonna move the show sheet around really quick because the other side of the show is gonna be pretty fucking hilarious. Is James Cook suddenly the running back to break the Buffalo Bills RB12 dead zone? So just so that everyone knows for stats sake, did a little research. And I tweeted this out like 2 weeks ago. Buffalo has not produced a top 12 fantasy running back since 2012, since Shady McCoy. All right. Does that change? Does James Cook change that this year? Mike, go ahead.
So I want to say something before I give my actual take.
James Cook good at football? In
a 14-team league this week, I traded the 103 for 105 and a 23 second. The guy that moved up to 103 took James Cook at 103. He could have got him at 105, and he traded me.
Yeah, you could have waited.
And I got his 23-2 on top of it. And then I traded in this draft, I traded 105 and my 111 and got DeAndre Swift.
Oh, nice.
Talk about reaches and reaches right there, man. Jesus Christ.
Oh, that's beautiful.
So now on that, as soon as I saw Cook on the show sheet, I was like, oh, I have to say this on air. So, no, I do not think he's going to break the curse yet. I think he eventually will, but it will not be this year. I still think that Josh Allen is going to eat enough into it. I still think, Moss is going to be on the team. He's going to get a little bit of work. Mm-hmm. The majority of the work can be Singletary and Cook, but until Moss is off the team and it's him and Singletary, or as long as there's only two backs, I don't think he's going to get enough to be a top 12. Could it be a top 24? Yeah, but no top 12 yet.
This team, this team is not a running back team. You do not draft Buffalo running backs.
Wrong. Take Singletary hella late and just ride with it.
or if you do draft a Buffalo running back, it is Singletary, and you're usually playing Singletary on your bye weeks
or flex
on an occasional.
Or James Cook overtakes the role, but yeah, I think they're cheap enough. With Mike's story though, I would never do that.
Yeah, no, fuck that.
No.
That dude was definitely intoxicated when he sent that trade over. Pat.
When Mike texted me about that trade offer, I assumed it was a startup draft and he was drafting Dalvin Cook.
No, that was a rookie draft.
Okay.
But on that note, I feel like I don't think anyone comes.
He's drafting the other Cook, the little Cook.
Just a little Cook in the kid. I don't think there's anyone on that team that's going to touch RB18 even.
Yeah, I don't think there's an RB18 on there. Yeah,
there's
too many mouths to feed.
There's too many mouths to feed. It's gonna be your straight up committee. It's gonna be the hot hand, and I don't trust anyone to be that hot hand for 10 games out of the season.
Peter's in here getting the early notes, he's ready to start whooping on his fantasy league this year.
I mean, if he won 3, man, that's on him. He's killing it.
I think
I don't know many motherfuckers who can win one, let alone 3.
I used to work with Peter. He's a good dude. And we played a Toys for Tots game, flag football game out here together too. Good dude. I'm sorry, Pat. Continue your take, brother.
Push comes to shove, and the Bills are in close games. Josh Allen trusts himself and himself alone to hold the ball.
Yep.
Who's going to run the ball? He is.
Exactly. You have Vanilla Vic. We're going to talk about a Vic later on.
It's going to be Josh Allen's team to do with what he pleases. And he does stuff. He throws the ball better than a lot of the other running quarterbacks. So I think he's the perfect man for that job. Also, I want to shout out the entire Buffalo community this last week. They have
pray for Buffalo.
Bills players came out of
devastating
and said, I don't need to be out in LA. I don't need to be in Florida. I need to be back in Buffalo. And they've been on the streets. They've been out there with their community, and that's been awesome to see. So shout out Bills Mafia.
Yep, Mafia.
Amen to that.
Much love to Buffalo. Pang.
Sorry, that was just a scary note to go off of. That Yeah, I got back from vacation. I saw that, and I was like, "What?" Just when I read that news. So yeah, prayers for them.
Mhm.
Yeah, shit, man. Nothing to say on that one. For the Bills, I mean, the last time they had a running back was 2014 with LaShawn, 35-year-old LaShawn McCoy doing
Mhm.
LaShawn McCoy things.
Yeah, shady.
I mean, I was never a big fan of McCoy, but I always drafted him when he was on the Bills. Because
Mhm.
back then they used to run that ball with Fred Jackson and stuff too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
great tandem. Yeah.
So, all it tells me this year is that James Cook is not going to be top 12, and not because I don't believe he's talented. It's because of Josh Allen that can run the ball. Josh Allen that loves to throw the ball. Devin Singletary will take some because they are a committee. They were a committee last year. They were a committee back before. This isn't, like I said, this isn't 2012 where I forgot who their coaching was back then, but that specifically defensive coach that would go run the ball crazy because it's the style played it. Now they're an offensive team.
Sean, yeah, underneath
So-
McDermott, yeah.
Yeah, so now they're gonna pass and get touchdowns on the through the air. So can he
Yeah.
get fantasy relevancy? Sure, because Devin Singletary is a guy that I beat for. Like I batted for him last year. I was like, dude, he costs you nothing, and you're assuming he's everyone says, oh, he's bad at football, which is not an argument for
Right,
anything.
yeah.
And
By the
then
way,
he came
Devin
up and showed
Singletary,
up.
one of the coolest dudes I interviewed with and partied with and chilled with, yo.
Yeah.
Like Singletary is
Whenever
a
someone
cool
tells me
ass
that argument is
motherfucker.
they're bad at football and doesn't give me any real stat line, I'm just like, okay, then he's not bad. You just don't want him not to be good. And he showed up. He did hella well. I think we called one of the games when I took the over on him. I was
Yeah.
like, he's gonna pull the over on the Dolphins, and he did it. He got a touchdown the first play against us, and I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's about right.
Hey, man, I cannot wait for Rumboyz NFL AM. Like I've been having my DFS itch lately. Like baseball and golf DFS, like other DFS platforms, like just don't do it for me like the way like football does. Like I can only play daily fantasy with NFL. I can't do any other sport with daily fantasy, straight up. So,
But
ladies and gentlemen, we're excited. We're excited. Ugh.
But let's go back at it. Let's assume James Cook is better. Fine. Josh Allen's still gonna steal through the air and through the ground. And that's always going to be a problem, right? When you're a guy's a pass happy QB like Josh Allen, like Patrick Mahomes, your running backs tend to suffer. Now, they don't have to be guys on the ground to steal your shit. Sometimes they just got to throw it in.
Hey, Dalvin still got to show little bro who's boss. David.
Yeah. The thing with Baby Cook is I think he's going to be like probably in the similar situation, in terms of running back by committee. Singletary's still the guy. I mean, the guy averaged over 4.5 yards per carry last year. Devin Singletary did. So it wasn't like they weren't getting a fair share of production out of him to just kind of at least keep the chains moving.
Zach Moss is that bad.
I mean, I think it's probably going to be those two as opposed to seeing a ton of Zach Moss. I mean, I think with James Cook's speed, it's unreal, man. He is so fast.
Yeah.
So I think they're going to be very, very much featuring him into this offense a lot more than a Zach Moss, who, with all due respect to him, because I loved him out of college at Utah, but I just don't think he's going to get as many carries as a Cook will. So I won't say, he's going to be, he's going to be the next guy to do it. I still think they're going to still feature the same offense now that Ken Dorsey's taken over as offensive coordinator. With Brian Dable now out. So which obviously means the running back is going to be somewhat devalued in that offense. So I think he's going to kind of be an afterthought in comparison to someone who's putting up RB12 level production. I actually think, honestly, Gabe Davis has more intriguing value from a fantasy perspective than a James Cook does going into this season.
Yes.
You're overpaying at this point, though.
Yeah, you're overpaying for what you're going to give for Davis.
You know who I missed, though, from a Bills running back? Mike Gilsley. That fucking guy was such a sleeper pick.
My gosh. That was come on. Fuck, okay. Really quick, what I'll say to cap off on this topic. Look, do not go out there and reach for James Cook. All right. Do not reach for any Buffalo Bills running back. There is not enough data to prove or to justify making that decision on a reach. Now, when you start kind of getting into the quote unquote the RB dead zone or those late round RBs, I have no problems if you grab one of these guys. I will say for redraft, you're going after Devin Singletary if you really need to grab one out this backfield. for Dynasty, you should maybe, in the first round, maybe you're grabbing Cook at like, I would say like 108 is where I'd be comfortable grabbing Cook. Like, and that's if my team is running back needy, you don't need a 103 on Cook. Like, you don't need to do that.
Yeah, that's what Mike was just grinning ear to ear. Just this is fucking paradise right there.
You're drunk in that result. What I can say is, hey, if you're that ballsy enough a fantasy player, and you're like, yeah, I'm gonna reach for him at the 103 in Dynasty, or in redraft, you're like, I'm gonna take him over, Singletary or Moss. I don't think that Moss will be on this team in the long run. I think they'll stick with Singletary maybe like 2 more years, and they'll run it with Cook. But yeah, I would definitely approach this backfield with caution. What would you guys pay for Davis? In like Dynasty, I mean, maybe like a second,
Let's see that.
Tyler Boyd in a second.
I could see him going end of the first. Because think about it like this: you're hoping that in 2 years he becomes a guy. Mm-hmm. Stephon Diggs a little bit older. Jameson Crowder would be gone or older. You're hoping that Gabe Davis takes a role. I could see that. You're bidding for the future, I guess, right?
They got Crowder during the offseason? I forgot about that.
Crowder.
I don't know if there's anyone who's a bigger mystery than Gabe Davis, like heading into the
Gabe
season.
Davis is the mystery.
I had a ton of his bitch ass last year.
Like, there's so much Twitter conversation over about what the value he's going to bring. It's crazy.
We would not be talking about Gabe Davis like this if he didn't go against frickin' Sorensen.
Yeah, I know, right?
And have 4 TDs. That man went for 4 TDs. Just think. And on the same.
I'll tell you right now, I would be talking about him. I still liked him coming in.
I liked him before that.
But ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna get into halftime really quick. So we're gonna play a quick music video, then have a word from our sponsors over at Monkey Knife Fight and the NFL Players Association. We're gonna take tonight. We're gonna go to Virginia. We're gonna go to Virginia with the homie Blake G. Can Do. On the other side of the show, we're gonna talk about Mike Vick coming out of retirement, a Tom Brady roast, and some more rookie running back talk. I guess the rookie running backs have taken over tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, here's Blake G with Can Do. Let's get it.
Let me tell you a little story. Once upon a time, there was a monkey knife fight.
And one day, they met one-team partners in the NFLPA.
It's a match made in the pits of a monkey knife fight.
And everyone lived happily ever after.
Are you listening? This is big.
What is a monkey knife fight?
You know, it's thing monkeys, knives, you get it. Fantasy sports is monkey knife fight. And monkey knife fight is fantasy sports.
Monkey Knife Fight is daily fantasy.
Monkey Knife Fight in the house.
I am Monkey Knife Fight. You are Monkey Knife Fight. We are all Monkey Knife Fight.
Monkey Knife Fight.
You have the NFLPA behind the company.
It's exciting for me to be a part of fantasy sports.
When I think of fantasy sports, I think of beating all my buddies year in and year out and being able to brag about it.
We're not just partners in it.
We're owners.
And it feels awesome to be an owner.
I challenge you to a monkey knife fight.
We've been saving you a seat at the table, Monkey Knife Fight.
Welcome to the one team and NFLPA family.
Monkey knife fight. Welcome to the family, Monkey Knife Fight.
Welcome to the game, Monkey Knife Fight.
Monkey Knife Fight!
I challenge you to a monkey knife fight.
Monkey Knife Fight! Monkey Knife Fight, Monkey Knife Fight, Monkey Knife Fight, Monkey Knife.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is Monkey Knife Fight. Download the Monkey Knife Fight app. Promo code Rumboyz. We're going to match you on your very first deposit all the way up to $100. Use promo code Rumboyz in all caps whenever you sign up for the Monkey Knife Fight app today for all your daily fantasy prop needs. Also, this show is brought to you by the Stacks app, stacksapp.io. Just type it into your Google search bar there. And go ahead and feel free to download the Stacks app. Make content very seamlessly with all of your favorite content creators and sports analysts from all of your favorite sports around the world. Dilly, y'all. Let's get into it. Cheers to me. Cheers to you, all the Rumboyz and girls. What to do? Feel free to download or feel free to, feel free to donate to the show if you please. Let's go. Pang is fucking doing something back there. I love it. Yo, yeah, Blake G is dope. We got our halftime shows. We always got banger music videos. I didn't know if I want to play that or the touchdown joint. The touchdown joint, we got a little reggaeton vibe with a little hip hop on that one. That one goes real hard. Let's go ahead. Let's get back into the show. So as I teased earlier, and you guys already found this out from social media today. Shout out to the homegirl Liv Moods for breaking this one. Really quick, I want to say that I am super fucking proud of her. To go from being the first woman, the first sister ever, like on TikTok, to like take TikTok and take that platform, build parlays and to share her parlays and to help people win money and everything like that. To all of her tweets and everything, and her building her parlay cards on there, to taking her social media prowess to being a sideline reporter with the FCF, with the fan-controlled football league. For those that don't know what the FCF is, it is a developmental football league owned by YouTubers like Destroying, Quavo, and many more entertainers. It's where they give players another chance. And you, as a fan and a viewer of the league, you're able to pick plays, and basically be the coach of your FCF team. It's really cool. Michael Vick announced that he's coming out of retirement to play in the FCF per Liv Moods. What are your thoughts on Vick now playing? We already know that Terrell Owens is a part of this league. We saw him catch a TD in this league about 2 weeks ago. An amazing fucking dime. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on this? We'll start with you, David.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. I like what they're building right now. Honestly, they're getting a lot of NFL player support from through ownership with Marshawn Lynch, Richard Sherman's involved. You got the Barber brothers, Austin Eckler. So there's a lot of great, people championing this league's potential. And so far, like they're not doing too shabby, honestly. In that 2021 season, I believe they saw like a dramatic spike in viewership as they were getting into the playoffs. Which is a great note, and a great optimistic, point to kind of hang your hat on, honestly. And so, in addition to $40 million investment that they received recently at the beginning of this year, there's a lot of promise with this. I really dig it. And one of the things that really stood out to me too is the potential of Michael Vick coming into this. Honestly, like to see him coming back and performing, I'm especially excited as opposed to, a T.O. and a Johnny Manziel. I think Michael Vick, the way he took over, and I know we're comparing it to the FCF to the NFL, but like, I think even at 40, what he can do, from a football playing standpoint in this, more so diminished quality league in comparison to the NFL, but still nonetheless, you got some decent talent. He could thrive and ball out. And the way he took over the NFL in the early 2000s was something that you don't see often. We will never see as often. We won't see as often. For going into the distant future too. Reflect on what he was able to accomplish from a popularity standpoint. From just
Shannon Brooks. Shannon Brooks plays in the FCF. Longtime Minnesota Gopher or former Minnesota Gopher. Homie was a beast. Mental health and things kind of an attempt at suicide is what derailed him for the NFL draft. But homie is killing it in the FCF, like, and he's a running back. One of my Facebook friends, shout out to the homie Shannon. The dude's tape is nice, nice, awesome. Yeah.
But Vic I think is also great. In terms of just getting the star power, the proven star power. That's a great pillar to kind of lean on and catapult this league's popularity. To greater heights. So I'm digging it. Honestly, just keep it going. Like they're at a great pace thus far. I say keep it going. It's a great consolation for when we're not tuning into NFL action. So why the fuck not?
Hell yeah, Pang.
Shoot, Michael Vick at Fan Control Football. It's cool. I mean, you know what it is? It's a way for him to just play because he obviously didn't get his full career like we hope he would have. 1 second.
What the fuck?
My automated feeder. And then secondly, I also like the fact that it's a way for people to bridge that age gap, right? You talk to someone from even Gen Z about Michael Vick, they might be like, right? He's only known as a Madden guy. So now they kind of get to see like remnants of it, which I'm sure remnants of him is still more athletic than most of us at our 28s, So it'd be kind of cool to go like, see, that's a Vic. But imagine if he was younger.
Yeah, exactly. Like fuck yeah. I mean, I'm a Virginia Tech Hokie fan. I remember, Vic in the 90s, just like watching him play. It's like, oh my gosh. And then in high school, when I got to play as a freshman, when I got to play against Marcus when he was like a junior, just you want to talk about world beaters, like guys, it's impossible to catch, like fucking gazelles on the football field. Yeah. So I mean, I think that is huge. Everybody wanted to be big.
And I think he was kind of bounced out of the league prematurely, if you ask me. I liked what I saw from him when he played for Pittsburgh and got that huge Monday night win over the Chargers to close out his career. That was nice, man. Won it in on the very last second. It was insane. So, like, fuck yeah, I'm down to see some more Michael Vick, even if it is 41-year-old Michael Vick at this point.
And another thing to toss on there, and I'm quote a friend that said this, okay? But two things. He inspired a generation of black quarterbacks.
Yep.
And secondly, and this is my buddy said, okay, he's black, so I'm just going to quote him. He goes, it's funny when I used to watch football in high school, he would say, if the quarterback was black, he was going to run it.
Yeah.
He was like, he's going to run it. This is Michael Vick's era, It was like,
but that's the
he's going to run it.
That's
the funniest shit ever. And I was like, God damn, that's funny. But he inspired that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah,
that's cool.
That was a real thing.
That's the guy when you're to your kids now. That's the guy.
Hey, I'll never forget Coach Black. I played third string quarterback, and he'd be like, get out there, and I'd be like, are you for real? Like for real? Like do I get pass? No, you're running, and I'm like, God damn it! Like, and I just take the fuck off, bro. No, that was a real thing back in like 2004, 2005, like 2004, like 2008, basically. And I've even talked about on this show. You get scouting profiles. And you look at like the very first sentence in like a black quarterback's profile is like, will run, or doesn't have as great of passing IQ. Like they usually say something like that. But Vic was also able to pass. Like Vic was also able to pass too,
Yeah.
you know, which was crazy. There was a
Had a
clip
cannon.
recently. Yeah, there was a clip recently of him on NFL Network where he just launched it outside of the stadium.
Yeah.
Like from end zone outside the stadium. That's further than you know your average football field. Like that's fucking crazy. Pat, how do you feel about this, man? Yes, he did show a lot more pass ability
He
with
did.
the
Him
Eagles.
and
He
Deshaun
evolved
Jackson,
with the Eagles.
man.
Yeah.
Fucking love it. Him and
What
Deshaun
was that
Jackson.
Monday night throw with Deshaun against? Actually, I
Yep.
think it was against your Washington Commanders.
Yep, it was against Washington.
Lobby.
Yeah, yeah, it was. Yeah,
He had a
Thing of
game-winning
beauty.
throw in OT as a Steelers backup. That was a good one too.
I liked him with the Steelers. I thought he should have gotten. I'm not saying he should have for sure started or anything like that, but he should have kept in the league. You know, if you ask me.
what you got, Pat? What's your take on the topic?
Oh,
We
no.
can't hear you.
How is he muted? And I don't even.
He's not
I
on
think he's-
mute apparently.
His mic, I think, is
Yeah.
acting up.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Sorry, I had it turned away. I haven't followed fan controlled football as much as many.
There we go. It's dead again.
Oh, you're really quiet
He-
now.
Yeah, give him a second. It'll come back. There we go.
Hello,
go.
hello.
What's up?
There we go. So I'm excited. I'm excited for Michael Vick. I'm excited that we get to see more football from him, from an all-time great. That really changed the game. We mentioned that he lost some time in the NFL. It's really a dog-eat-dog world out there, and things happen. But it's gonna be it's football. It's a chance for others to learn from him. Like that's what it boils down to. Is it's just a learning opportunity.
Mhm.
Same reason that T.O. plays. Yeah. I don't really have a ton to say on this topic.
I mean, it's the same thing, right? It's the same thing we said. It's good.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
Random
Mike,
random
Strong
T.O.
on any basis.
Mike.
I mean, anytime you're going to see Michael Vick on a football field, watch out, and in a good way.
Mhm.
Part of me wishes this fan-controlled football experiment was not on an indoor field.
Mm.
I wish we were playing. I know it's 7-on-7 with 3 offensive linemen, but I wish, because even if you didn't have fans, a lot of fans are, and it was still internet based like it is, to be able to use and I know Johnny Manziel's not our favorite person, or I know he's part of the topic, but to even see Johnny Manziel and Michael Vick be able to use their legs more like we know they can. You can't do that in an indoor environment as much.
Yeah.
Another player that I wouldn't mind seeing come back and playing just to see how he would do. I would love to see Robert Griffin III in this.
Yo, yes.
Ooh, that's a good one. I like that. I dig that.
Especially if we were to have this on a real football field. I don't know if you guys saw, but during the draft or whatever, they showed that he ran what was it, a 4.6 still or 4?
No, I think he's faster than that.
Was it like a 4? I think it was like 4.46, right? Something
Yeah,
like that.
it was like a 4.46. Like he was
I
like
mean, they
still
had 5 guys and
dangerously
he was fast. Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean,
Yeah.
if you could sit there and play if we could sit there as fans and call real plays on a real football field,
Yep.
I would probably, like Pat, haven't paid too much attention to the FCF. I would probably pay more attention to that if it was real.
Here's what I'll say. Okay. I haven't caught like every single game, but once you immerse yourself in the experience, once you're calling the plays, you have the app, you're calling the plays, and you're watching the game. Like it's like a day that you have some time to sit there and do it. It's an experience for me. Like many have mentioned, for the younger generation to get to see, Vic, Terrell Owens, so on and so forth. That's a win. But then for them to be learning the game and to be learning okay, if I call this play, this will be this outcome, and so on and so forth, and for it to kind of also have that Madden but real life type of gamified feel. This is bridging the gap. Like this is. You need this product. Like you need this product. So I think that is huge. It's a huge benefit. I love the amount of celebrity support behind it. I think that you'll see other leagues replicate it. I think the USFL is going to crash and burn. I think you're going to see the FCF and the XFL because of how much celebrity power will be behind those leagues and how much celebrity dollar will be behind those products. I think that those will now function as developmental leagues. So you'll see players, just like how we see in the NBA where, we have international players getting drafted and, from different schools and we see a lot more diversity and, players getting drafted and stuff. I think that we're going to start to see that where it's not just going to be college. The talent of the real talent, it's what's going to be drafted from here on out. And I think that that's what's going to start to happen.
I love that we brought up RG3 earlier because, he's one of those guys. He's still very young. Could he still play in the league as a backup? I think he could potentially as a backup,
Yeah.
Obviously not as a starter. But I think a guy like him, as opposed to someone like, let's just say, some dude from, Mississippi State or something like that wasn't drafted in the NFL.
Steelers Nation, but yes.
And didn't establish much of a reputation. Obviously, because he wasn't drafted, he couldn't establish much of a reputation of what he could accomplish in the NFL because he was never drafted. He was never, signed to a contract. I think even more so than that, or more so than a legend who's been out of the game for quite some time and is just coming back at age 45 or whatever, like a TO. The guys who are still potentially capable of playing in the NFL that established a previous reputation, like in high regard, like in RG3, will help the success of this league most of all, So like I said, with an RG3, that's a perfect example of someone who could still play in this league, because there's a storyline added to it. It's not just watching players play football; it's focusing on a particular player
but that's what sells leagues. Are storylines. Storylines are what sell leagues.
Exactly. And I think that storyline in particular, compared to a player who's, let's face it, like T.O.'s a little washed up. He's not as, I don't think he would thrive in the modern day NFL, or a guy who's, never had any business being in the NFL, but is playing out there and maybe he's balling out in the XF, maybe he's balling out in this, fan controlled league. Those two don't matter as much as the one I'm talking about with RG3. I think that those types of players will really help us the league.
Yep. The guys that got pushed out maybe just a little too early, a little too soon. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. I think I know where I want to go with this one. We're gonna drum up the comedy here a little bit. So going back to the whole rookie running backs talk earlier, y'all saw what happened on Twitter this week, right? With our homies over at Splash Play.
I didn't see the details. I saw.
Yo, check this shit out. All right. So our homies over at the Splash Play podcast, shout out to Pete Overzat and everybody over there. I guess they were live. I don't guess. We know. Okay. Mm-hmm. So they're live, doing the same exact thing that we're doing. All right. Mm-hmm. They're live, breaking down rookies. Rashad White comes up in conversation. Mm-hmm. What does every analyst do? We bring up our player comparisons. Mm-hmm. Rashad White, during that live broadcast of the Splash Play podcast on YouTube, during that podcast, they had compared him to Ronald Jones. Rashad White took to their Twitter DMs of the Splash Play homies to discuss basically how he feels about the comparisons between him and Ronald Jones. Thoughts on how you feel that this situation was handled, both mainly on White's account. I mean, here's a rookie coming out and saying, you know what, bro, don't compare me to nobody else. I'm better than Ronald Jones. I'm better for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers than what Ronald Jones is. I'm here. I'm ready to start. This is now my backfield and my team. Don't compare me to no Ronald Jones. I don't know what previous conceived notions. Maybe when White walked in the building, they're like, hey, man, whatever you do, don't be like Rojo. Maybe there was rumors that Rojo was motherfucking lazy. He was like cheeseburger Eddie Lacy. I don't know.
Cheeseburger Eddie Lacy.
Like, what are y'all's thoughts, though, on Rashad White? He went in. Like he went in those Twitter DMs. Mike, we start with you.
Do I think Rachaad White is going to be the starter week 1? No. Do I have a major problem with this? Absolutely not, because I would rather have I don't think he was cocky. I think he was confident. And I would rather have a confident player that thinks they're going to be able to come in and do something than someone that's going to sit there with their tail between the legs and not think that they can take the job. Because I think he's, with that comment, I think he's the type of player that's going to come in and try to win the job. He can be a good compliment because I don't think Uncle Lenny's going to be there forever. He's going to have a role in this offense right away. And
isn't Lenny somewhere else already?
No, he's still there.
No, he's in Tampa.
There?
Yeah, extended for some
he
money.
got extended.
Yeah, that's what it was. That's what it was.
I think by the end of the year, Rashaad's going to have a lot of the pass catching duties, but Lenny's going to have his own fair share. I have no problem with this. I don't have a lot more to say besides the fact that I just think he's going to battle. And just like we've said on other shows other running backs. Yeah, go ahead.
He said, "Don't ever disrespect me with the 100 sign emoji." Yeah. He said, "Don't ever disrespect me." And Ronald Jones are in 2 different categories. He said, "Me and Ronald Jones are in 2 different categories. And he is him, and I'm better. Check the stats. No other back in this class led his college team in rushing and receiving. Like, bro, don't let me get started. Just stop disrespecting. Thanks, pal."
All right, I take a little back what I said. That's a little too much, but I do love the confidence. But the reason he led his team in rushing and receiving, I live on the West Coast, just like David and Payne.
Mm-hmm.
He went to Arizona freaking State. They didn't have an offense.
Yeah, they don't got nobody. Yeah.
Jaden Daniels wasn't doing shit over there.
Jaden Daniels left. Jaden Daniels didn't want to be there. I mean, that's all I got to say.
So your question about the Madden cover, it's got to be Madden on the cover, not White. Yeah, I'm sorry, not TJ Watt. It's Madden.
The only way they would do TJ and Madden is if they do it like they have done in the past to get extra covers, like an extra edition.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pang? Or it's Pat. It's Pat next. It's Pat next.
Pat.
My fault.
This has vibes of like
Bears.
A player's mom coming on Twitter to defend their son.
You mean Eli Apple?
God, we're not doing the Eli Apple thing. We're not doing that.
But it comes across as not that he's confident, but the complete opposite. He's got a chip on his shoulder. He's trying to prove something, and he's up here in his head listening to what a little podcast is saying about him. Like, why are you paying attention to a fantasy podcast? Like, it doesn't matter. Do your job.
Rachaad White claims that his homie sent him the clip of the comparison.
Okay, but still, do your job. Shut up and do your job. Prove it. Prove them wrong. Go back to them afterwards.
But we know that players watch live streams. We know that players watch these shows. Like, this is a YouTube generation of players. Like, so
but
if players play fantasy,
that doesn't mean you come out and you say that and you're open about that. You're opening yourself up to take shots in the back because now this is public.
Do you think it changes ADP? Do you think it changes ADP in Dynasty?
No.
Because cocky fuckers like me, we're like, oh, you feel like you're about to get the starting role? I'm a drafty dog.
I don't think he's beating out Fournette. Anyway,
I don't think he's going to be out Fournette
this year or next year. But I'm not buying it. I feel like he's compensating for something. I think he's got to be told like why are you slipping into DMs?
Spiller is better than than the other three. It's Spiller all day for me, Jonathan.
Just since we're talking about this point, I was just going to drop the fact that I think maybe, or drop my sentiment on this. I think it may be tied to the fact that he's had kind of a rough journey getting to the point where he is now playing for the Buccaneers, because this is someone who's a 0-star recruit coming out of high school.
Correct.
He transferred 3 times. He played for 3 different colleges, transferred 2 times, played for 3 different colleges, including Arizona State, where he finally got his chance to thrive. He probably wouldn't have been drafted had it not been for this last year,
Yeah.
where he flat out balled out. And I think because of that, maybe he's a little more sensitive to criticism that he may be receiving, or I shouldn't say criticism, because I like Ronald Jones as a back.
Yeah.
But I think he wants to be properly identified, is what I'm getting at. And when he's misidentified or uncharacterized, characterized in an inaccurate way from a professional standpoint, he takes that as a sign of he's sensitive about it, as a sign of disrespect,
But he's earned his way into the NFL. He has not earned his way. He's not fully even stepped on the field yet. He's not stepped on the NFL field.
No, but I think it's just the fact that like people get sensitive to being characterized inaccurately, But even if it's not a bad that
doesn't mean that doesn't mean you come out and say that publicly, or you don't come out and be like,
yeah,
hey.
No, it shows he's a little sensitive. Exactly. You could probably
and being sensitive isn't necessarily a bad thing.
No,
although I think in this case it shows a little bit more of not necessarily just being sensitive, but taking it personal.
Yeah, I mean,
I like people that are sensitive. I'm a sensitive guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I'm not going to let something like that get me upset. My feelings and be personal.
I don't give a fuck if you hate my takes.
And I don't know, maybe it's the fact that they like Ronald Jones is no longer a Buck, and like maybe they see the same thing happening to him, and that's what he kind of maybe. I don't know. It's just I think it's just the mislabeling, because they are 2 different players. Like I don't compare those styles whatsoever. I think he's a much more fluid back from a speed standpoint than Ronald Jones. Ronald Jones is a little bit more of a bruiser, and he's not as versatile as Rachaad White is, considering what he can do from a receiving standpoint.
At the end of the day, when it comes to his role in the offense this year, I'm concerned. Byron Leftwich has come out and said he wants to keep the offense running similar to what Bruce Arians had previously run. Yeah. Bruce Arians' offense has been known to be difficult on first and second year running backs to pick up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I'm staying away in redraft. I'd take Keyshawn Vaughn before I would take.
Ew.
You think so? I don't know about that.
No,
I wouldn't take Vaughn.
That's where I'm at.
Pat, didn't you just trade for Keyshawn Vaughn?
Yeah,
I'm not. All right. Payne, what's your take? What's your take on the White situation?
Normally, I'd be kind of like, hey, you're doing too much, but I'm actually in his boat, right? David explained it. He's a 0-star recruit, had a transfer. He had it rough, right? Proves himself, puts up 2,000 scrimmage yards, something ridiculous. Yeah. And then people are gonna come up and be like, hey, man, you're going to this team. You're probably gonna be this guy, and it's like, no, bitch, I'm not going to be that guy. I'm going to be me. I mean, we see this before. I mean, Deebo Samuel was giving shit about Cooper Kupp's game or somebody else recently. He was like, do you look at other people's game? He's like, no. Right? Like, yeah. So I'm not surprised. I'm with it. And I think but does it boost his ADP a little bit? Because he's drafted in the 3rd round. If you want a comparison to how people are panicking on random picks, Brian Robinson's draft value killed Antonio Gibson's. James Cook killed Devin Singletary's. But Rachaad White was also a 3rd rounder. But Leonard Fournette's a top 12 pick right now, a top 24 pick.
Connor 2.0
It's crazy
season.
now. Like, come on. Top 24. He's being picked in ADP 22. Like, this is just ridiculous. So I think Rachaad White, if they took him for a reason, because they don't trust what they have. They want a committee. They want a guy that's not running at one speed. Leonard Fournette does not have the burst he has anymore. Still reliable because he knows the game and still pretty good pass blocker. So Rachaad White's going to do the little bit different. I would take him. He's going late. He doesn't cost you anything. People think Leonard Fournette has a job 100%, and they're ridiculous for thinking that right now.
Yeah, I agree.
And if the guy wants to compete, then I'm all for it. He's the opposite of what Martavis Bryant was, a guy that had all of the opportunity, all of the talent, and that was too lazy.
Fucked it all up.
This guy transferred, did all this work, fucking, a D2 school and gets drafted. Come on, that's fucking ridiculous. So, props to him.
Hell yeah. No, I'm in agreement. I think that this does affect his ADP a little bit. You go out and it's not just some podcasts. Like it's like the Splash Play. It's a Splash Play
dropped
homie.
ahead
It's
of,
like it's
Brian Robinson.
It's Peter Overzet and fucking Chris talking. Like when you respond to that to a podcast like that, it's gonna boost your ADP up. Some people are gonna think that okay, like this dude really feels like he's that guy. I wish Rachaad White the best. I'm staying away from the Tampa backfield outside of Lenny. I hope that this shows that you want to start, and I hope that you can eventually get that role. We've seen miracles happen. So I mean, hey, more power to you. Peter says he has a question. Is Tyreek about to put Miami on the map? If Tua can get him the damn ball.
Y'all are down on Tua over here, man. I
Fuck
think
out of here, Robbie. I'm gonna kick you off your own show. Keep talking shit about Tua,
bro. You're a fucking Dolphins fan, Payne. You're supposed to be biased.
It's
me
and Payne versus
anybody. But I think Tua actually has. I think Tyreek is just that good too.
Tyreek is also just that good, but is Tua gonna pass more than an average of 7.5 yards?
Yeah,
I think he will. I honestly, there's some times where like
stride. If you think Jalen Hurts can make AJ Brown do work, then Tua is gonna make Tyreek do a ton of work.
Look. The bar is very low for Tua. 7.5. He has to do better than an average of 7.5.
Okay. Eagles had top 2 all O-line. Dolphins had bottom 2 O-line.
Yeah. That's the thing. That's one thing too. He accomplished more from a
fantasy standpoint. I will take I will still take Tyreek as a wide receiver 1 on my team. I'm at the same time taking him with the caveat of if you underperform, I already know why you're gonna underperform.
You don't think
it's
once
not
you
your
get
fault,
healthy, he'll bolster his chances of getting this offense, into its highest gear?
This
I was never high onto it, bro. Like what class is that? Fucking.
He's in his third year now, so
yeah, bro.
2020.
Yeah, 2020 when we did the draft special and everything. I even said it then. During our 3 days of coverage, I'm not high on Tua. Burrow was always better to me. Burrow is always better to me.
But it had nothing to do with the injuries, right?
It had nothing to do with the injuries. I just don't think it's just a thing. It's not
Tua.
He did nothing wrong. Tua did nothing wrong besides pass for an average of 7.5 motherfucking yards last season.
Yeah,
I don't have faith. If I'm a receiver, if I'm an NFL receiver, you tell me that Tua's my QB. I'm like, fuck. Do I jump out the window now or later?
Is that coaching? Is that coaching and play calling, or is that Tua?
I think that is Tua.
Outside of that fucking receiving core of Waddle that took a while to get going, who on that team was really reliable, right? Gesicki, Parker's not reliable.
No,
you're the quarterback, bro. You're supposed to spread the ball. You're supposed to create fucking offense. Like at some point, you have to have some.
I could argue the same for Trevor Lawrence, but he was and Ryan Tannehill who threw to unnamed receivers. Trevor Lawrence
had fucking Urban Meyer.
Tua had a shithole O line though, and a shithole running back core at the same time.
Yes,
we have to acknowledge.
And there's also that. There's also that.
Not even a good receiving core.
Shithole in both. Shithole.
I feel like that receiving core was.
He didn't have time to throw.
I feel like other quarterbacks would have made do with that receiving core.
What's Waddle's time to throw 7.5 yards? Run 7.5 yards.
I'm out here throwing a fucking Mac Hollins and Preston.
I need to see Tua pass for more than an average of 7.5 yards.
I will agree with that, Robbie, but just slightly, because like even in the receiving core outside of Waddle, there wasn't a ton to work with.
Watch Tua anticipation and breaks on the receivers.
And then Tua does this weird ass thing with his hips before he fucking throws this weird ass hit shit. Like no, like I'm good on it.
There's a ton of pressure on him.
Can we start roasting people?
Yeah, we're about to now. We're about to now. No,
the receiving back was so bad. Their old lineman had to catch the ball for him.
It's your team. You already fucking know. You already know. It's your team. It's your team. You already know.
They're just that bad, and it has nothing to do with Tua though.
In honor of Tom Brady's Netflix roast special, drop a player you'd want to see get roasted.
I'll see you.
And drop a joke as well. And then also give us your thoughts on what you expect to see. First, give us your thoughts on what you expect to see with this roast special. Like, I had some fucking boss tonight curse me out on Twitter. I was like, I don't think that Brady can take a joke. Like, and I said it jokingly, and then this dude just was like, "Oh, Tom Brady's the greatest." Brady, like you know. So Brady's gonna be doing a Netflix roast special. What do you guys think about it? Drop a player that you would want to see get roasted on like a roast stage. And if you have a punchline or a joke, feel free to drop it. Mike.
It's David's turn to start.
Oh, wait, David.
Do you want to start first, Mike? I'm just thinking of the plural.
No.
Okay. Okay, gotcha.
I said no. Mike was like, no.
I'll go then.
Yes.
They fucking got it. Like, this is the guy who I do want to see roasted most
Really?
of all. Yeah, I can't wait for this shit. I hope they bring out God, what's his name? The Jeff
Ross.
Jeff Ross. Yes, and like the most vicious, darkest comedians out there, just to go in on Tom Brady. I would love to see that. I like, honestly, I can't stand Tom Brady. There's no one who drives me up the fucking wall more than this dude. Yeah. And it's not just the winning. It's not just the ego. It's just like I don't know what to gravitate towards, like, with this guy, because
he's just so perfect.
He's so perfect, and he's so evil, and he's so awkward at the same time when he's like when he's not playing football. Like, it's so funny just to take this all in with Tom Brady. Like, honestly, like, when I think of Tom Brady, I think that one gif where he's got all the rings and he's like awkwardly smiling as he's like fucking. That's what I think of when I think of Tom Brady. You know, exactly.
That's why Leonard's laugh.
I cannot wait. I hope they go for the jugular with them.
Yeah, I want to see Brady get his ego knocked down a little bit. I like that. That.
If tears were shed by Tom Brady through this roast, it wouldn't shock me. And frankly, I would kind of like, I'd feel guilty in doing so, but I'd probably be laughing my ass off.
I don't think that nobody's gonna guess mine. I like this so far. I like that. I'd love to see Shannon Sharp get roasted, so he can destroy everyone with his comebacks. Don't play with Uncle Shay. That would be great, Peter. That would be great. I'm with that. That would be fucking Class A television, honestly.
I'd love to see Skip. Oh, sorry.
Oh, Skip. Oh, gosh.
No, but Skip Bayless get roasted by Charles Barkley. That would be the funniest shit. He wants to kill Skip Bayless, legitimately. Like, he's like, if I'm trapped in a room with him, I want to stab him. You know?
I'm with that. I am with that one. Pang, who do you got? What is one player that you'd want to just see? Like,
I'm gonna give you two, but for the same reason. I want to see Plaxico Burress or fucking Aqib Talib. I don't really give a shit for Aqib Talib. I hate him a lot, actually. I think he's kind of a fucking prick. But I want them just to go up there, just like 20 comedians go up there and just say, like, you shot yourself in the leg and walk away. Like, you know, you make the 8 Mile joke. The guy who shot himself in there too.
Cheddar
like,
Bob jokes.
Go up there.
Cheddar Bob.
You know the guy from 8 Mile that did it? He would go up there and be like,
Cheddar Bob.
We had to exaggerate it in the movie, but you did it. You know, like just a bunch of guys going up there just talking about how they shot themselves in the legs and then going.
Damn.
Aqib Talib would be. There's so many stories they could clown on him for. That'd be
such
so
a
good.
fucking turd.
Hey, Aqib Talib with the Debo jokes. Didn't you get your chain snatched? Oh, that was Michael Crabtree, right?
Crabtree. He's such a piece of shit too. But I would love for like Aqib Talib just so they could just shit on him as a person and just for shooting himself in the legs too.
I'm shocked you didn't go darker for like Ray Lewis with like the murder jokes.
Oh, fuck. He probably walked out after the first joke.
Just wait.
Mike's like, I got some shit.
It could be a 1 minute special.
With the murder, at least he meant to do it, right? I can't.
Whoa! Here's what was proven: that he helped in some way. He could have been helping dispose of the body or disposing.
Oh
my god! I would give props to the guy that meant to do something versus the guy who accidentally shot himself in the fucking leg. Like, come on,
Pat, your turn. Pat, your turn.
I'm excited for it. It's gonna be a good time.
Ray Lewis has killer instinct.
I just read that shit.
We're all going to hell.
I love YouTube.
They're just gonna cut to Ray after the first joke, and he's gonna be clutching a knife. I'm kidding. Oh
Pat.
god damn it!
But
I'm gonna
anyway.
go down for that.
Tom Brady can take a joke. It'll be a good time.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
If we're gonna roast someone else, I want to see Aaron Rodgers get roasted.
Damn it, you
That'd be
took
nice.
mine.
Yeah, that'd be
But
The amount of back jokes.
there's
As a
plenty,
Bears fan, yeah.
there's plenty of good stuff to joke about, whether it be his COVID toe, his COVID immunization, just his overall attitude towards his family. But I know that I was considering going to the football conference, but I know I'm not letting Aaron Rodgers take my daughter because he would for sure lose her to some minors and then blame everyone else for it.
God damn, that was fucked. That was dark. You didn't have to go there. You did not have to.
Jesus Christ.
Four losses on the final day of the conference.
Yeah, you're right. Oh my god. That was dark. Mike.
So
Miners being the 49ers.
Yeah, I know.
Okay,
I know
I'm
where
just
you.
making
I
sure
got
that-
the pun.
making sure that
I
wasn't
got the
lost.
pun. I got the pun.
So on the talks of the actual roast, I think it's going to be hilarious. I do love the fact that this is actually going to be more than just Tom Brady in the sense that Tom Brady's the executive producer, and they're calling it.
Yep.
There's going to be more than just Brady. There's going to be more superstars that they're going to get roasted eventually. Brady's the first one, but it's not just Brady. There's going to be a series of them. That's what I'm
producing it. Yeah,
and he's producing it. So I can't wait to see who else they bring in the sports world, who it's going to be. I mean, it could be other sports, whatever. I'm going to bring two people on, and yes, I'm being a dick when I do this. I'm bringing two people on. It's going to be the roast of Jalen Ramsey and Golden Tate. Let's go, baby! Let's go!
Jalen Ramsey and Golden Tate. Interesting.
But pause real quick on the Tom Brady. I'm hoping there's a segment where Charles Woodson comes up and smacks a drink out of Brady's hands.
I love that. That'd be great.
Fucking die.
I would
Will Smith style.
Exactly. I was like, what if he just slaps
the drink? I would be fucking laughing so hard.
Are you sure he didn't just like get it like dropped out of his hand or like?
Oh.
And
Wow.
last thing, is the soda going to be flat?
Oh wow! I get it. Yeah,
I like that. Well done.
I'm
Well
shocked
done.
that
Charles
none of
Woodson
you
come out and do
guys.
it. I
I'm
would
shocked that none of
fucking
you
die.
guys went for like LeBron James or anything like that.
That'd be
I
a good
think-
one. I'd like.
I
that.
feel like a roast of Sammy Sosa would be good.
yeah.
The only reason
Sammy
I didn't
Sosa's
go,
a shit person though.
He is a shit person, so that'd be good.
I thought we were trying to
Going
go
with football only,
football.
yeah. I am gonna keep mine football only. And luckily I had one loaded up in the clip ready to go. After Pat took mine, we gotta go with the roast of Antonio Brown, bro. We gotta go with the roast of AB,
shot, man.
bro. Hell no, dude. That shit would be so. You have the frozen feet.
Yeah, that's
joke.
where I was going.
Like there are so many things that we could fucking go with. Like you called your GM a what? Like there are so many fucking jokes.
God.
Ripping off your jersey and like just like oh god. As if this show hasn't done it enough. I feel like the roast or if AB would agree to it, like if AB agreed to it, it would be the only way I'd be okay with it. Yeah, it's like, hey, yo, you agreed to it, so yeah, like the jokes are gonna be the sky the limit, bro. And yeah. I feel like in order to agree to it, and like in order to do a roast, like you have to agree to like, I'm gonna let these people just go. I think Marshawn Lynch would be a great participant.
Oh, that'd be fun. Yeah.
Marshawn would. Oh gosh, because you know he coming out with that Oakland swagger when it's his turn. Like, I feel like Marshawn would be a great one.
They take his Skittles,
and then finally Phillip Rivers. Phillip, I can't pull out Rivers.
I like that. I can't pull out Rivers. That's good. He'd be fun to. I can totally see that. I can see if Antonio Brown gets roasted, Mike Mayock just gets invited, and he doesn't even roast him. He just like flat out tears into him and screams.
A Big Ben roast. A Big Ben roast.
Ben would be another one too. Yeah.
John Gruden.
Only if AB
that one
is
feels a little non-consensual.
Yo, John Gruden. I like it.
Urban Meyer? What if
The roast of Dan Schneider. The roast of Dan Schneider. Fuck, God, I hate my owner. As a Washington fan, I hate my owner. One final topic before we go ahead and wrap up the show. So, HBO Max and Brian Gumbel are doing some bold shit. Some real bold shit. They are going to interview, I believe, a couple to a few of the accusers from the Deshaun Watson case. Could this prevent Deshaun Watson's eligibility? We already know that the NFL is getting ready to roll out his punishments. And we were sure, we're almost fucking damn near positive that they're going to do something, right? Does this HBO special, it's HBO Real Sports with Brian Gumbel, like when Brian Gumbel interviews you, when you're on Real Sports, and I believe it's not even Gumbel who's doing the interview, it's a female who is conducting the interview. I want to make sure I get her name properly while you guys do your takes. I'll get her name. What are our thoughts? Like, to me, in the sports world, this is bigger than being on 60 Minutes. We start with you, Mike.
So I also want to bring up that this coming week, Watson is supposed to meet with the NFL. So it also comes at a perfect time for Watson himself. Perfect time for the NFL because the NFL can do their interview, their own investigation on their end, and then wait for the interview. I think this is absolutely horrible for him, even if
he's fucked.
He's screwed.
Again.
I mean,
he should have been fucked the first time.
I mean, I'm going to keep it nice and short. There's a reason that his salary this year is only $2 million base or something around that, and it's all incentive based and bonus.
God damn, it's so dark.
Depending on how this happens, what goes on with this and with what happens this week when he's meeting, Baker Mayfield might be the starter.
I agree with that. Yeah.
There's a reason he's still on the roster.
Oh yeah, there's such a reason. There's so much of a reason.
Yeah.
And if things turn out bad, like Cleveland looks even more stupid. Oh God. Pat.
NFL will not release their announcement on Deshaun Watson's suspension until after this comes out. Because they do not want to have the backlash of, if this is true and what they're saying is reality, like you only gave him 4 games, or you only gave him 6 games, or you gave him a year, and no, NFL does not want people second guessing what they end up handing down. They need everything out before they do that. They don't want the chance for new information to come out. That being said, I have no clue what the NFL is going to do.
This interview is going to be polarizing, bro. I'm going to be sitting there fucking biting my nails because and for our jobs here, and all of our individual, projects that we also do in our time, like we're going to be dissecting everything.
At the end of the day, it's a really messy situation. It has been for over a year. And it's not just going away. It's not going to just go away. And despite the NFL's leniency towards a lot of domestic abuse and sexual harassment and sexual assault allegations in the past, I'm thinking the NFL makes an example of it. Now, does the NFL think that because Deshaun sat all of last year that counts for something? Or do they not because they didn't formally hand down a punishment?
It's going to depend on how this turns out. I feel like it's going to depend on how this comes out.
Can I bring something up real quick? Just real quick.
My scale's unbalanced.
One second. Hang on, Mike.
Yeah, go. And then I'll go before Payne.
Had Deshaun not already been having issues with Houston when those allegations came out, and he was then sat because of there was a chance that he wasn't going to play for Houston anyway.
Mm-hmm.
If that didn't make the situation any more messy, I think that they would have counted that as year served and year time served. But they can't because of all this extra stuff now. So now they actually have to hand down a formal punishment, which is gonna, if it's less than a year, Deshaun's gonna try and fight it because he's like, I already served time, and that's gonna make an even messier situation.
Yeah, it's
Mike, what were you gonna say?
So what I want to add real quick is the NFL likes to take other sports into account sometimes with their punishments. Could they take the Bauer incident in the sense that he sat out this entire time and then gets a 2-year on top of it when everyone was arguing that year should have counted as punishment service time?
No, I
have a feeling that's going to happen.
Say that's one of the things where we saw Trevor Bauer get the furthest extent.
Yeah,
I could see the NFL doing something like that. And I just want to also add on top of that before we have Pang and David go. This has been one of the most confusing cases from a reporting standpoint in 5 years of doing this, almost going on 6 now, like that I've ever had to work. The details, just the way that this story creeps and crawls. Yeah. Any analyst that's telling you they know the outcome is you're fucking bugging. There's too many multiple different outcomes. There's still there's too many different outcomes. Pang.
Well, so I know the outcome. No, just kidding.
Pang has all the answers.
I don't
Tell us, all-knowing one.
I just know I don't want drafting the motherfucker. I'll tell you that much.
No, I'm not drafting Watson. Yeah, I want nothing to do with Watson.
It's just, I'll leave it there. I mean, what else can you really say at this point, right? Like, who fucking knows? We've seen some weird shit from any case. For all I know, Jerry Jeudy and Alvin Kamara are going to be fucking gone for half a season at this point. Who knows? It's never consistent. It's never been and never will be. We'll see.
That's one thing about the Shield. The Shield is the most inconsistent of any sport.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we'll go have an AP.
Yeah.
Very
valid points. David.
Yeah, I think like the thing that's so frustrating about how we see these sexual assault cases and domestic violence cases turn out is that it's so fucking difficult to prove what happened, what didn't happen, because there's, it's not like there's always physical evidence to cite on what on how you can reach a conclusion for sure, but at the same time, it is very alarming.
Thank you, brother.
20 plus people have accused him of sexual assault. And there was I don't know if you guys remember this too. One of the victims came out and talked about how she broke down emotionally, and Deshaun Watson acknowledged that truth, that happened following one of their massages. He testified under oath speaking about that, which is certainly not a good look whatsoever. I'm very curious to see what they bring to the table. I mean, obviously testimony is one thing, but sadly with testimony, it's at best considered hearsay without actual evidence to supplement it. So I'm curious to see what they bring beyond the testimony, because I think that's what's going to create legitimate change. In terms of what his future ultimately is with the NFL long term, and if they bring something outside of just testimony, that could very much shake things up. But if they don't, we might just see another slap on the wrist, and I hate to say I don't like.
Go ahead.
What was that?
No, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say it's just sad because we see it time and time again where that ends up happening, where they don't take it as seriously as they should. Because, I mean, I don't know what happened. I wasn't there, obviously, but there's so many red flags here.
Take down that green screen.
That it feels so uncomfortable to just move on from this and say, oh, well, we're going to have to let him back in. Like,
exactly. It doesn't feel right for him to just be allowed to waltz back in. I like what Tria said. If Calvin Ridley betting got him blacklisted for a season, the hypothesis should be Watson gets more. We'll honestly see. I think that the MLB did the proper thing with the Trevor Bauer case,
Yeah.
despite even us knowing everything. I feel like it's a privilege to play football.
Absolutely.
It's a more prestigious, sport than maybe some of others, depending on how you feel about other sports. It's a privilege to play, to me, what is the greatest game in the world. And that goes for like whether you're playing at a small level, like whether you're Pop Warner, your high school, your college, your flag football, your semi. It's a privilege to fucking play this game. And your body allow you to still be able to. If you do something that ruins it and that messes it up, you should deal with the consequence straight up. It's not something that the matters at hand of which he was accused over shouldn't be taken lightly.
Yeah.
I hope that the league doesn't. I hope that the league does the right thing. I know we talk about this situation a lot, but we also talk about a lot of real shit on this show. That other shows are afraid to talk about. Like, oh my God, I can't believe they brought that up. Well, it's Rumboyz After Dark for a reason. Deal with it, yo. But that aside, I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna be hanging on to the edge of my seat. This will be an interview that I'm watching with the pen and a pad, and I'm gonna be jotting notes during it, watching body language, just to make sure that as a reporter I have everything necessary to make sure that I can report to you guys, my proper opinions and interpretations, and also facts that are discovered during it. It's like I said, this is when you're on Real Sports with Brian Gubble, that's as serious as being on fucking 60 Minutes.
Yeah.
So you're not none of these witnesses or none of these victims are being booked on this program for nothing.
Yeah. There's got to be something to it for sure.
Exactly.
Beyond what we know already.
Brian Gubble is one of the greatest reporters to ever report in sports. Period.
Yeah.
I will say this.
If there's a story, there's a story. Like if there's a story, it's a real story.
Yeah.
And shout out to Brian being a legend in the game. Thank you for teaching us everything that you have, brother.
Absolutely.
What are you gonna say, Pat?
I would say one of the things that we're not mentioning in this right now is that we aren't hearing which girls are going to be talking on it. It doesn't matter. These girls didn't come out to become famous.
No.
They at this point they would be famous if we would know their names if that's what their goal was.
It's not their goal.
We're a year into this. These are serious allegations. This is a real situation that affects these women's lives and will haunt them for the rest of their life. And we live in the Me Too movement.
Yeah.
And it's time we have to believe women here. Like
there's I mean, I understand, the mind questioning or whatever the case may be, but like with this, like Pat was saying, this is the society that we live in today. Adapt and overcome. Also with that, like if you are going to be sitting back and watching this interview, please have some and you are reporting, like if you have a legitimate job to fucking do, please have some damn journalistic integrity. Don't try and nitpick or report the fucking facts after this thing is done as what they are. But again, shout out to Real Sports for bringing us what could be the truth, what could be a piece of evidence that we don't know and honestly we need. So yeah, I mean, big ups, to them for breaking this story. The women coming forward, I know that it's hard, but thank you for even wanting to share it, or not probably wanting, but being willing, because it's gonna be. Like I said, it's this piece of press determines a lot. Outside of that, anything that anybody else want to add?
No, just to close out, I just want to get to the bottom of this. I'm so tired of just leaving so many cases that are domestic violence or sexual assault. We talk about Ben Roethlisberger's cases, Ezekiel Elliott's, Antonio Brown, so many guys that were just left in open-ended. Well, we didn't really know is this for sure the truth or not, And it's just so fucking frustrating because you got to move on at times and just say, okay, this guy can still play in the league and we still got to cheer him on, you know, if you're supporting that fan base, for instance. And it's just uncomfortable doing that if there's so many unknowns left, you know?
I like that. I like that sentiment. I like that point. And hopefully maybe this is the first time that, you know, we get some truth and we get some clarity.
Most definitely. I hope.
And I hope no one is like, oh my God, Robbie bringing another black man down. No, that's not the case. No, this is real life shit.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get into some outros. David, you start.
Yeah, you can follow me at David G Sports TV. You can also follow our podcast at the OTH NFL podcast at OTH Football Pod on Twitter. Catch out our content. We just interviewed Bob Harris today of Football Diehards. And yeah, it was an absolute blast getting his sentiment on fantasy football. So check out our latest content through there and on YouTube as well.
Hell yeah. Pang.
Well, you guys can catch it at Pang's Picks FF. Doing more content. If you guys have not seen it, I've actually been posting more stuff for fun now. And then fantasy football best ball season has begun. I'm on team 13, drafted already. If I was Sal Veltri, I would tell you that is 13 hours spent. I don't know, fucking now.
Reminds me of Ron Jaworski always saying, like, I watched 15 hours of tape on this guy. It's like, did you?
Yo, it's like yo, if you're watching
for 60 seconds.
I've only had very few players. I can say this. I've only had very few players that have made me have to like really watch that much tape on them. Yeah. If you're watching that much tape on like 1%.
I'll put it this way. This is the same guy that watched this much tape but told you to trade away Deebo Samuel.
Oh, no, I did not.
I'm not joking. No, yeah, I'm telling you. I was looking through his videos just to see it.
Oh, I thought you were talking about me. I was like, I did not say no shit like that.
That guy. His takes are so bad. They're so shallow for a guy that watches that much tape.
I just want someone to say, I've been spending 15 years going back to the kids' Pop Warner days studying this guy.
I've been breaking out the seconds. 10,800 seconds of research.
Yeah, exactly. me with Joey Sly when it's time to break down kickers. You're gonna draft Joey Sly because I coached him.
Hey, I know Robbie did too, but I will admit that I watched a decent amount of Ramondre Stevenson Junior College.
Yeah.
I mean, but that's part of his college evaluation, so I get that. But yeah, it's it's going deep,
college, LA County College.
Yo, when you're fucking watching JUCO film and you're doing this job and you're just sitting there in the middle of the night, like, God damn it, you're on cup of coffee number 2, number 3. Yeah.
My favorite part about these guys that like will say they watch all this film, they only give you numbers and they can never actually tell you what's happened. They'll just give you numbers.
No. It's like
the numbers gloss over
like,
the
what
facts,
did you watch?
You know?
Oh, you're just giving me numbers, and it's like, people who have 10% target shares, and I'm like, that's not what you watch. You're just doing. To be fair, you're doing research on the numbers, but that's not
the point of watching film. Like, what did you see? Pat, your outro.
You can find me.
Peter, stop by more often. We'll have to get you on the show sometime.
Yes, Peter, you were awesome.
Yeah,
we appreciate
you,
having you. Find me at St. Patrick FF on Twitter, and chilling here on the Rumboyz Fantasy Network.
Yeah. Mike.
You know where to find me. Drop the Mike FF. You can find me here and on Going for 2. Other than that, peace out.
Hell yeah. It's your boy Rumboyz Robbie. Make sure that you guys catch up with us on all social media. You can literally just like search Rumboyz anywhere and we'll pop up. You'll know it by the logo. Also, I'm going to try and start getting some mock drafts prepared. If you guys want to get involved in mock drafts, hit me up on social media. You can mock draft against the team here. Some of the Rumboyz analysts that are around. Some of the different analysts that I know in the industry. I'm going to start putting together some next level type of mock drafts to where we're simulating you going up against competition that's not in your home leagues to make you that much better than your home leagues. So yeah, be on the lookout for our Wednesday night mocks. Other than that, cheers to me, cheers to you, to the whole entire Rumboyz Nation. What it do? Dilly dilly. Somebody roll my motherfucking outro. Let's go.